You will be shocked. The older women on this site can't say no to sex. Willing to drive 10 minutes for some hot sex? Try the best sex site in USA and find an older fuck buddy immediately. First site packed with horny older women who want a cock. Ask for address and go get laid. No fake accounts. And no credit card requirements. Last offer to get it 100% free. Click here to fuck.
This episode of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan is brought to you by
gringoslocos.com. Just sent an email back to a guy who was thanking me.
Oh, yeah.
Thanking me for telling him about Gringo's Catering.
All right.
Don't thank me, thank Gringo's. But yeah, they do have damn fine catering, and it makes your party better. You can have people dishing out the tacos, the burritos, whatever you want, or you can just have them drop it off and you're good to go.
Yeah, make a double D bar yourself.
Yes.
And 10% off if you mention Tom
Yes.
and Dan. So when you call them, go to gringoslocos.com. You'll see the catering on the bottom. And
He
when
used the code.
Yeah, when you call, just say, hey, I heard it from Tom and Dan. They said 10% off. They give you 10% off. And that's a good discount depending on how big your party is.
Exactly. You might be going to that Solar Bears big playoff game. Well, there's Gringos in the Kia Center. You can get yourself some Gringos right there. Gringos all around town. There's one in Michigan, the UCF location, the original one downtown.
Yeah, Milk District.
Yep, there you go. That's the one I'm missing, the one closest to us.
Yeah, you could find all locations at gringoslocos.com. Grab yourself a mouth-hugger burrito, that dang quesadilla. Awesome food. It's gringoslocos.com.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
I think I forgot how to turn the microphones on. It is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Let me fix Ross's camera.
Ross McCoy's here. How you doing, Ross?
Hey, let me give him a clap.
We only have a couple more weeks if you want to book the Tom and Dan Cruise. It's TomandDanCruise2024.com.
Yes.
The booking ends, I think, the beginning of June. So basically, you just have May. And then we set sail in
We just
September.
started in May. There's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
And all the information's on there.
Unlimited drink packages. You've heard us tell you about that. It works on the island, too. So when we get off the boat and we go to the island.
We're doing a Tom and Dan Island beach party.
Yep. You bring your little card and you get your free drinks on the island. You get free Wi-Fi on the ship so you can find your wife when you get lost and don't know where you are because it's a brand new boat.
If you catch Dan on the boat without his musical spoons, you get a free T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, my musical spoons.
We're gonna talk about
I was going to start playing them right at the beginning of the show, but I didn't want Tom to go crazy.
When I saw you play those spoons online, I was like, I didn't know he could do that. I was like, how the fuck did you learn to do that?
Let me see if I can find the video.
When you told me about this, first I was, I halfway listened because I was like, all right, another some sort of novelty.
Well, I buy a lot of dumb shit. Even my wife tells me, she's like, you buy a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah. Some knick-knack.
Paddywhacks. Here, this is me playing them. Here's the video. Andrea shot this with her potato camera. Look at it. Here we are. There you go.
Well, honest to God, I hear Soundgarden every time he starts doing it. I hear Chris Cornell
Spoon Man
in my head.
They call me SpoonDan. I got it. Let me take my ring off here.
So then
These are
and like, is this something you played when you were a kid?
No,
were you little Danny Spoon Boy?
No, I was never little Danny Spoon. I've never.
So you just picked that up?
Yeah, well, I'm a drummer. It shouldn't be that surprising to people that somebody, if you play drums your entire life, that you could pick up some. These are heritage wooden spoons. They're the large ones. They're about $40.
And to put it in perspective, like, I no musical training either. I kind of picked them up, messed around with them for a minute before the show, and like, they were fun. I made some neat noises with them, but nothing like that.
It's fun. No, you guys can do it. And most drummers can do it, but the hard part is the rake across your knuckles.
Yeah.
So when you go like, it's hard.
And then that one where you drag your finger through the middle, that's my favorite. I like that.
Yeah.
They call it the rattlesnake.
Pretty cool, huh?
So
it's gonna get me all the pussy.
Tom, you gonna get a pair too? You gonna get into this?
I don't have the coordination
for the Spoon Boys.
My wife already hates them. Maisie hates them. My wife hates them. Maisie fucking hates them.
Really?
Maisie thinks it's the dumbest old man hillbilly shit she's ever seen in her life. Oh. She was watching Dance Moms this morning, which she's obsessed with, so she watches this horrible show, Dance Moms, while she's eating a stick of pepperoni or whatever Slim Jim she was eating. I'm playing my spoons. They're both like, knock it off, go to work, take your spoons to work, you fucking dumb old man.
I may be able to play the XXX jug.
Yeah.
What is that, a fat lady?
Yeah.
Oh, we can start a band, so we go like...
I guess that puts me on washboard.
Stupid.
It is pretty stupid, yeah. But you know what's weird is the number of dads that posted that they were going to buy these fucking spoons. And then I was telling you that I need a kickback for them, and then you were like, you're smart because you're smart at business, and you're like, yeah, because wooden spoon companies that are owned by a dad and a son have tons of fucking money, you dumb idiot. And I'm like, I'll go back to the studio.
Also, those are custom carved wooden spoons.
Yeah, these are handmade. They're from Canada.
Yeah, we need some plastic China spoons to make some money.
These are handmade. They're called musical wooden spoons from the Heritage Musical Spoon Company, and they are about $40. They're hand carved in Canada from Canadian pine.
All right, okay. I'm glad you.
Because it has a distinct sound. And it's no different. I'll give you a quick history lesson.
It's definitely got a Canadian accent.
We're more alike than we are different. This is no different than the claves, which is the same thing you would find like in South America or in like, most Latin music.
Castanets.
The castanets, exactly. Mm-hmm. And this is just another wood drumming instrument that hillbillies used. And I also went on a lot of Celtic forums last night to find out what people think of spoon players. And most people that do traditional Irish music or Celtic music think spoon players fucking suck.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. In fact, they all say on the boards, they're like, guys on there, poor little spoon players go on these boards, and they're like, hello, mate, I'd like to bring my spoons to play. And they're like, don't fucking bother. We hate you. Don't show up. You're too loud. You overplay. You ruin the music. Most of the time, the guitar players say the music's rhythmic as it is. We can keep a beat. Go away.
There's a certain tier of musical instruments that is, I feel like,
this is the
belittled.
This is dumb.
This goes into the category of triangle, castanet.
Give them a cymbal.
Cymbal.
Mm-hmm.
The highest hierarchy of that category is the harmonica.
Well, that's why drummers. That's why drummers
and then it
get
goes
a bad
into real
rap, right? Because like you're really just it's the most rudimentary way of making sound. You're using your fist to punch things.
Yeah, but you have a bunch. You make a bunch of different sounds. This you're limited to the rattlesnake or the
This is day 2.
Yeah, this is day 2.
This is day 2. Imagine like he puts a week in, he puts a month in. 10 years from now, the spooning he's going to be doing.
Well, there's no way to change the sound of it. It's just. You get what you get.
And that's what a guy who knows jack shit about spoons would say. Meanwhile, Spoon Man's sitting there across me, wowing people.
I kind of feel like there's a happy medium between the two of you where I do feel like, Ross, I am going to be able to get maybe 2 to 3 more sounds out of it. But I would also like to give Tom some flowers and say that he's also right in that it is a bit limited because I think Andrea's really fucking hates it. Like, she told me, I started playing when I got home yesterday afternoon. Maisie also sort of belittling me. I came to the top of the stairs. My dog greets me. He loves me. So Dansby's giving me kisses, and Maisie's on her iPad, which most kids are. And Maisie looks at me and she goes, "Your spoons came in," like that, like a real fucking little bitch. And then my wife's in a meeting, so I take my spoons out and I start watching the how-tos and I watch the videos and I start spooning away, and then I start getting a bunch of texts, but I don't have my phone on me, and I'm not checking my watch because that's my spoon in hand. And then I look at my watch and it's got like 17 messages telling me to shut the fuck up because she's on a Zoom meeting.
What is that fucking clacking?
Yeah, can you please stop the ticky-tacking up there? So yeah.
Is there a goddamn goat in the house running up and downstairs?
I've been told that the only place I can play those when she is on Zoom calls is the 4th floor because it's carpeted.
Go outside in the parking lot.
Anyway, did I interrupt your? Did we?
No.
Did we get at
all you need to turn this around for Maisie is like one good TikTok video with like 1 million views on it, and I got it for you, Dan. It's you versus you in The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but with spoons instead of.
That was the first song I played too.
Okay,
it was Devil Went Down to Georgia.
It's meant to be.
This guy knows me,
dude.
It's the first song I put. Maisie goes, "What are you gonna do?" And I go, "Watch, you can play along the songs." And I played Devil Went Down to Georgia, and that would be like, and I went like, doom, doom, doom.
This is how you know it's gold because we're all on a vibration.
Fire in the mountain, run, boys, run. Living in the house of the rising sun.
And then the devil gets a go too, and it's better, but you win anyway for some reason.
Pick it up, dude.
Why isn't the devil better at this? He should have some better powers.
I think it's weighted because he gets to use a band, and Johnny just has to go by himself.
Well,
so
I always thought a Devil Went Down to Georgia when I was listening to it. I was always thinking the Devil's band is funky.
Yeah,
and no bullshit. As a kid, I was
They're
like,
good.
he's got black guys in his band. Like it felt like he had a better rhythm section, right? Like it
for
felt
sure.
like he had Sly and the Family Stone, where the other band was like Travis Tritt. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to Travis, but
also,
it's not very funky.
Is it other devils or demons playing in
it's
the band?
It's a band of demons.
Or is
it's a band of demons.
Is it like Hitler?
Because he counts.
The devil doesn't really go through and introduce his band.
It's like a pickup band. He's like, "Hey, filling in on the bass tonight. We have Beelzebub, but tonight we got a little guy you might know. He did a lot of bad things back in the day. Give it up for Hitler."
New on the spoons, O.J. Simpson.
On the spoons? The electric knife was taken. I'm sorry.
I kind of would like a section where the devil, like Blues Brothers style, introduces his band member by member, and it's like Joseph Stalin. That would be really fun. That would be fun. Yeah.
See that.
Then somebody like Bob Saget.
Wow.
Like, I thought he was good.
On drums, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Backup vocals, Mother Teresa. It turns out she wasn't that great. Yeah.
So I'm glad Daniel told us how expensive the spoons were because
I didn't think that was that bad. Like for handmade spoons,
that's reasonable.
I thought $40. $40. And these are large. I bought the pros.
Yeah.
I bought the large ones, which I probably would be a better fit for a small or a medium. And the smalls, I think you can get for $22. So the father and son in Canada selling these. Shout out to them. They're not a client, but I did tag them and give them some love. Heritage Musical Spoons out of Canada.
Because I'm about to bitch about the expense of something. This is an old man. I realize.
At least it this.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm using my spoons as a wand for those of you that aren't watching.
Could you use them as spoons?
These?
Could you eat soup?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely could. There's no hole in these.
Ross, when is the last time you went to the theme parks?
Oh boy, it's been a while. We did. So I worked there. We went there. We went there all the time when I worked there.
Halloween Horror Nights.
We got year's passes for the kids.
That's different. It's night.
And then since then, we've been like once to go to the park. I think you guys gave us some tickets. We went once.
Okay.
And I took the kids, and then we went another time just for like Halloween Horror Nights.
All right.
Or no, yeah. The last time I went was like 2 years ago for Horror Nights. They had the Weekend House, and I went and I just walked.
Yeah, that's right.
I just walked through the Weekend House like 6 or 8 times.
Have you been within the past 10 years during the summer? Like the heat of the summer, the blazing heat.
I'd have to check, but I worked Jurassic Park in a summer, and it is brutal out there. Yeah.
So it was Tommy's birthday this week on Tuesday.
Birthday, Tommy.
turned 10 years old, which is still crazy to me.
It's insanity.
And so Crystal got him tickets, Universal, to go see the Harry Potter worlds because he's watched all the Harry Potter movies. He likes them a lot, and so
Good
she's
stories.
like, he'll like to see the Harry Potter world. Then obviously they do a top-notch job with the whole damn
serious question. That I don't know, and I'm sure either the chat room or maybe you or Ross know. Do they have a Harry Potter that walks around out there?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do either.
They have some show where I saw them dancing, and there was like one of them looked like the ginger up there.
And if I know you, you love some wizard dancing.
They were dressed like the kids, and one of them was a ginger. So I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta have a Weasley. The Weasleys.
The Harry Potter part was never really my ballywick, but as far as I can remember, it's all like indiscriminate wizards, and then the only character I can think of that appears in the books and the movies that does like come out in costume and stuff is the train conductor.
All right. Oh, I saw him. I talked to him.
They'll have the train conductor come out. He's dressed in the full uniform, and they'll take a picture with you in front of like the Hogwarts train.
All about mind the gap.
I told him, I was like, you don't have to talk to me like that.
Mind the gap,
I was like, just tell me where the bathroom is.
We got one here. Mind the gap. This one's about to shit his pants, he is.
So,
and I would guess that's due to licensing fees.
I've talked.
Like Universal was like, "What's your cheapest wizard?"
Do you have a paper one?
And I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard me bitch about the theme parks for years. I'm not a theme park guy.
Yeah, people like what they like.
Yeah. Everybody,
you don't need to defend that.
No, but some people they hear me bitch about the theme parks. They get personally.
You're allowed to make fun of things that aren't for you. You're allowed to. You're allowed to do that.
But in this town,
it doesn't make them not less cool.
I invite everybody to make fun of me. They already do that, so I'm going to make fun of their shit.
You're allowed.
In this town, a lot of people, either through fandom or through work participation, base their identities on theme parks.
No, I know. They love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I kind of want to explore that a little bit, and this is just...
In a negative way. That's mean and heartless.
No. I'm just talking it out, going through my experience.
I shit on things even I like.
Asking some questions I seemingly can't answer.
There are people right now, at least 1 in 5 is shitting on my musical spoons.
The spoons are going to be a hot topic.
That's a really dumb thing to buy, dude. And some would say that I'm not going to win any contest for being cool.
So Crystal told me about this week. In fact, she gave these tickets to Tommy for Christmas. So this has been a long time coming. Where this is actually
get him something else for his birthday. Jesus Christ!
You gave him a birthday present for Christmas? That's fucking brutal.
That's cheap ass shit. If my dad did that, I'd be, God damn, this motherfucker hates me.
At this point,
and
Tom,
for your birthday, you get your Christmas presents. Drag them out of the closet.
I also gave him an old used studio computer.
He did. He wouldn't even let me blow the cum out of it.
Anyway.
I had the thing right here. Look. I had this ready to go. Yeah. I said, let me blow the cum out of that thing.
So
I don't think you're supposed to do that to really nice microphones, but well.
I have been mentally preparing for this for months because I kept telling myself
the computer
to go have fun at a theme park.
To go to a theme park. I've been psyching myself up. I've been like, come on. Like I told myself the morning of, I was slapping my face. I was like, come on, you could do this, you pussy motherfucker. I'm like, don't put out a negative energy. Don't walk around miserable like you normally do.
You're gonna do around here. I'm like, what are you in a fucking theme park? Fuck you.
You're gonna ruin your son's birthday. You have to pretend to be happy.
Oh my God, you are my father. Remember you wouldn't take me to Casa Gallardo?
That's right. Yeah,
dude, you do so many Florida dad things. If you had a gold bracelet on now, you real motherfucker.
No, I put on a happy face. I was excited. I said, let's do this. I'm so excited.
If you said that to me, I'd be like, he's ruining it already with his fake bullshit.
And kids absolutely can't tell the difference between fake and real enthusiasm.
My kids don't. I don't even think they care about going. There's more.
We'll get to that.
It's deeper than this. It's deeper. I'm looking at them like, are you having fun? Who's having fun? I'm looking at all the dads there. I was like, everybody here looks miserable.
You should know that rule number 1 of taking your kids anywhere is to never look them in the eyes while they're doing it. You're never going to get full satisfaction.
I like the idea that you all are just facing each other and like holding up masks with smiles on the wall. You're crying. All crying.
It's like they have to go do this because that's what normal people do, and they're the aliens.
Well, listen, I wanted to ask.
Everyone goes to the theme parks for birthdays. Here's your birthday gifts from Christmas.
Christmas.
Exchange the paper for papers that will let us go through the
For
games.
Christmas, you get your birthday gifts. We do not understand your Earth customs.
No. But listen, Crystal,
I will try one of your funnel cakes.
the boys said they had a good time. I don't know.
These rides are less fast than our spaceships.
So Crystal's like, let's get there early, right when it opens.
That's smart.
And then so we get the most amount out of our money because
Get the
shit
fun
is
out.
expensive.
Squeeze that
right?
fun out.
And so I'm like, all right, and again, I'm like, you have to put on a happy face. You have to, do not put off.
Just
anything.
don't talk. I have to do this.
Yeah. Put your head down. Get through this. You can do this.
I just have to be quiet.
And here's my hot take. That I truly believe you could lie detector me right now. I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
I believe that a full day, 9 to close, in the summer Florida heat at a theme park is more grueling than a triathlon. And I 100% believe that.
So you believe
that a full day at a theme park in the summer is more grueling than a triathlon.
Well, I'll say you never texted me back that day when I was checking on you to see how you're doing.
And I have first-hand experience on this because I've been training for a goddamn triathlon, which I'd much rather do, by the way.
How much training did you do for the theme park? Though?
Yeah, he tried to kill me on Wednesday.
I thought the triathlon training would do. It does not compute to that.
Translate, no.
We did 11 miles in the sun on Wednesday, and this motherfucker blew the doors off of me. I almost died. I had to ride
That's
home.
easier than
I'm
the theme
laying.
park.
I was
11 miles of what? Salami?
It was 11 miles of delicious salami. No, we rode bikes in the sun. I overheated myself.
So
man. Hot as hell out there.
We do a segment with Joey about theme parks every month. He's been doing it for years, so where he tells us all the tips and tricks.
Did you follow his tips and tricks?
Oh, we did nothing. We did nothing he suggested, and I was even afraid to suggest stuff because I also get blamed because I want to be like, all right, let's get this done. Let's do this, and get the fuck out of here.
That is accomplished fun.
That does make you feel like your dad loves you, and you're like, all right, let's get this shit done.
I'm like, Joey told me how to do this. Go to the most popular ones first, work your way backwards, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here by the time, come back. Whatever, all the shit he does, I barely pay attention. Yeah. But Crystal warned me. She's like, don't put your,
No, the chat room wants to know if you pretended like you were special needs in order to get in front of the line. He did not.
I wanted to call Joey. I wanted to call all my... Yeah. I still know Tiny. I gotta be like,
he still has a neck brace in the back of his truck.
Like, I'm close enough to it almost be legitimate.
I've heard that from people.
So,
did you get Fast Pass or did you wait in line like a...
Let's talk about Fast Pass.
Okay, so Crystal's like, should we get Fast Pass so we could, because Joey tells me get Fast Pass or whatever. So I'm like, yeah.
Do we have any hookups for any of this?
Yes, but that's all.
You do all
that's
the
all been
hookups.
offered. But it's not even about it. Listen, it's okay. Fast Pass was $600 extra
Holy
for the four
shit.
of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I was like,
$600.
I was like,
Yeah.
$600?
Yeah, that's
we already
a
spent
lot.
$600 to get in here, and then
Right.
another $400. Anyway,
But if you're like you and you're determined, let's accomplish fun, that's the way to do it because otherwise you're waiting in line for an hour and a half a ride. It can get that crazy.
yeah, well, the boys don't really like the rides that much, so that's another part of it.
Would you stay in the parking lot? We're going to walk around the parking lot.
What the fuck are you doing there?
Max does. Tommy's not a big huge fan. The wind blows his face too much. He can't breathe. Anyway,
Put your motorcycle helmet on.
Whatever he wants. His birthday.
What is he like merchandise? What is
he
his
likes
thing
just
out
to
there?
walk around and look at stuff while the sun scorches us alive.
Take him to the mall. The mall is air conditioned looking stuff.
And so we're doing that, and and then I also thought that it was less it was going to be less packed because right before the school lets out,
weekday, right?
And that's,
I thought it
Tuesday.
would be too. It was a Tuesday, and it was not.
But apparently that doesn't exist anymore. Just like Joey said, it was shit slammed.
No kidding.
And then we are being herded like cattle.
Still tougher than a triathlon, right? You do the triathlon every day.
I'm slowly herding around. I'm scorching.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Money
Hotter than us riding bikes.
Turn my pockets inside out. And then we get to the Harry Potter land. Is any of the
It's beautiful, right?
And
Did you see the dragon?
And then Crystal's
Are you trying to keep your smile on with alcohol? Are you? Because alcohol
in the sun, it'll kill you.
You got to plan it out at Universal. You got to really plan your alcohol consumption out.
I'm taking weed pills like 10 packs.
All right,
I mean, Universal
but
is so hot.
they're being like the antidote for weed is scorching heat.
Yeah,
like I couldn't get high.
I can't do beers at Universal, man, because that one, like Islands of Adventure. I remember trying to drink a Sam Adams cherry wheat, and I remember how warm the beer was. Like as soon as it was handed to me, I was just like, "This is like it's just too hot for beer."
Dude, when I was taking the kids like all the time, they would sell one of my favorite beers out of the beer stand, which is the Foster's Special Bitter oil can.
Oh yeah.
And so I'd go to Publix to get like 2 of them for $5 and put it at the bottom of my diaper bag and just walk around with one all goddamn day because they sell them there. It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, big old oil can of Foster's.
Yeah. And it's the Special Bitter, so it's like 2% higher. I want to say
nice
so
and warm from a diaper bag.
But I'm saving like $10 a can.
Insulated, warm, bitter.
And again, I see other dads walking around and big boys too, and they are in the heat. It's 95 outside. Yeah. They're pushing a stroller.
3 bills, 4 bills, fine. They're fine.
And I'm like, this motherfucker is tougher than any Iron Man. This guy is pushing a stroller, just turning his pockets inside out, spending $2,000.
Oh, he doesn't even have it. It's all credit card.
Yeah. Just, I mean, brutal heat. And
it really depends on what tourist season it is, because, like, you know, Brazilian season, they're used to the heat, and it's kind of the same heat. It's like a hot, wet heat, they're cool. But when it's English season, you see motherfuckers struggling. You see people who've, like, been to the beach yesterday, and they were in the sun for an hour, and now they're beet red, and now they're at Universal, and they floppy hat. That's the solution? No, you're dead, sir.
Mia Del Rio in our Twitch chat room is saying Universal gives fast passes to all the hotel guests, so there's a ton of them out there, too.
So they
so it may not even be that great.
No, it's still better than waiting in line.
I'm sure, but still, it's like when you know
it's only 30 minutes instead of an hour, which is just half. But when's the last time, by the way, like, it's been a while since I waited a solid 40 minutes for something in the heat.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time waiting.
The last one I did, I know the last one I did, because I never did it again. The last one I did, and I bitched so much to Andrea, she like, we argued in line. It was the last one we ever did. And it was in the heat. It was not the really good Avatar ride, the Journey of Pandora, when that first opened.
Yeah.
And I think we did like an hour 20 in line.
That's
and I was
time.
like, fuck that. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
As you're older, you're like, man, this is time that I'll never get back to.
And it was a cool ride. It was a cool ride, and it was great and everything, but it's just too long.
So then Crystal's like, let's buy the kids some wands. They got to go through the wand thing, right?
Well, I agree with that, because the wand thing is cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it costs.
Man, you thought Fast Passes were bad. Wait until you...
And I lucked out, and my wife's cheap, and Sabrina from the News Junkie gave Maisie the Hermione wand like years ago.
Okay.
The one that works with all the electric stuff in the park.
So they all work.
So probably knowing my wife, she probably asked Sabrina for it because she's so cheap.
And so then I remember Daniel's like, Summer told us about, like, you go through this experience, so choose one kid and they do whatever. The line for that was 40 minutes. So
we got to do the super fast version.
So we just went to a key, like just a shack. It was selling them. It was
hey, dog, I got bootleg wands right here. What you want? You want Rick Ross?
No,
Kendrick?
It was like a hot dog cart of wands. It was in the corner.
Oh, you got the hot dog wands?
They're all the same. Anyway, so
it actually was just a pencil from Seussland, but we told the kids it was a wand. So.
Painted it black.
We go there, and then of course there's all the different ones or whatever. They get to go through, pick the one they want. $75 a piece.
Oh my
for a Chinese plastic shit stick.
You can get like 2 or 3 musical spoons for that.
Okay, and I'm not only calling it that.
Shit stick's fine. You're fine.
And I apologize.
You're getting out your anger.
No, people.
This isn't an assassination.
And I'm not shitting on Universal.
No.
Listen, I mean, it doesn't even matter if I did. They're making it so much money. It blows my goddamn mind. They'll never be.
You're mad and you're just lashing out. That's fine. You're allowed.
And so, I was talking shit with our friend Kenny Samsel, who was also there, and I saw him there that
He's
day.
a shit stick too.
and
a nice
I was bitching about the cost of the wands, and then he's like, that they have technology in it, interactive technology.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, they have something that triggers a teacup to move, like, or whatever.
Yeah, you can walk around the park and do the magic.
And then also, technology is cheaper than wood now. like, you could buy a 86-inch TV at Costco for $9.99. $9.99.
Yeah.
Like technology isn't that impressive anymore.
Literally,
it's cheap.
my shoes have the same exact technology to track like how far I walk and stuff. Like they have the same fucking technology.
Yeah,
dude.
like whatever is at the tip of that wand, that plastic wand that they molded 10,000 of them.
It cost 5 cents. A kid made it in the Southeast Asia.
Yeah. And the
You'll never get to use it either, which is really
What's
sad.
the markup on it? Like,
Oh my God, I don't
20 times what it cost?
20,000%. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, did that each wand and box cost $2?
Now they say they're made out of like heart pine and like iron oak, but they're all just plastic, right?
Yeah,
So what is plastic?
I don't think any of them are. I think maybe you can buy some high-end ones.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
But the ones from the park, I think, are plastic.
To get that plastic stick pressed in China is cents, right? Like, and then they put the little metal technology, which is also cents in there.
It's just an RF.
It is $75.
Yeah,
and
but what did they like doing the magic?
Oh yeah, they loved it. I would
say that's worth $75.
They're waving at it, moving the teacup, scorch the sun. I'm just standing there.
Did you do all the stations?
Oh, we did them all. Every single one. They have a map of
Yeah, there's a map of the station.
They're just scorching the whole
you're not
time.
going on any goddamn rides. You have to find something.
You gotta do something, or you
slowly
just
hurting with I mean, and then again,
get in line, move the teacup, get in line.
And again, I'm looking around too because I'm like, why? Because then I'm adding together the cost. I'm like $75 wands, $46 hot dogs.
Yeah, I ended up. So you could have bought a boat by this point.
If you wave the hot dog at the teacup, it does stuff too.
$30 parking, all the tickets, the fast pass. This is, thousands of dollars for a day Universal
soda.
And then I'm so like, so the other people around me must be insanely rich. They must have so much money that $1,000 to them doesn't mean anything, and they'll just come here and they'll just waste it. Well, that is not the case.
No, it is not.
That is not the
You
case.
work there, people tell you all the time, we saved up for years.
Yeah.
For this.
Years!
From all over. People will come and they'll tell you and be like, we saved up for years.
Like 10 years. 10 years.
Long periods of time.
And then I saw grown men waving the wands at the teacup, and they were having fun. And
in the heat, alone.
And nothing against that. I'm talking about me.
The wand is fine
Why
for me.
can't I have...
It's the cloak I can't get up. No, I'm not even... The wand is fun. You know I like fun. I bought these fucking spoons. I'm pro wand. I can't get on board with the cloak in Florida. They need a junior.
Dan,
Do they make a...
He's so close to a breakthrough. Let him do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's so close to a breakthrough.
Well,
he's going to ask the key question. Go ahead, Tom.
No, but when I see the middle-aged man pointing the wand at the little teacup, and then it's like, oh, it moves. Like, he's like, oh, I made the teacup move. And then he's happy about it. I'm like, why can't I be that happy? Why is this gentleman having more fun than me, doing something so simple?
And the answer is your Uncle Randy took you aside when you were 5 years old or whatever. Like, you're the man of the house now, and that was the end of fun for you, Tom, man.
No wand for you.
But now realize you're the man of the house now, and you can make there be fun if you want. You can have fun. Choose to.
You used to be more fun.
I don't see how that's fun. I can't understand it. I can't even comprehend
frivolous
it.
things a little more, I think.
No, waving the wand at the teacup.
Or
how is that in the scorching heat?
It's no different than a video game.
You spent $1,000. That's a different. No, video games. I've seen the fun. That's awesome.
Experience, though. It's still an experience.
It's just like being gay. You have to make a choice to enjoy it. That's all. It's just like that.
Video games. There's a lot of awesome software. I'm running around Grand Theft Auto. I'm punching a hooker. I'm stealing her money. I'm driving a goddamn Lamborghini. Like, this is waving a plastic Chinese.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate
at a teacup, and it moves.
You're pretending that you are driving a Lamborghini. And that's fun for you. And this asshole's pretending he has a magic wand, and it's fun for him.
How can
he officially licensed wand? Because I think that matters too.
Oh no, it's way easier
because
to pretend.
I believe that people are really into that. Like when they go there and they've saved for 10 years, they're going to Hogwarts. It's the real fucking place.
It's an investment for real.
But it's the real place to them. And it'll never be that to you. You automatically, from living around here, you have a different relationship with the parks altogether.
But Max, he pointed at me. He's like, Levioso.
You're supposed to jump up.
You should have jumped, you dumb motherfucker.
And it only works on the water fountain.
It's fake. It's a Chinese chip.
No.
The only way I'll jump is when you can beat me up, and that'll never happen.
I won't have fun with you. This is worse than triathlon training.
You wouldn't even Levioso for poor little Max, who's so sweet.
No, but it's like he wants to be real, like and I'm like, the small.
He doesn't.
He wants to have fun with his daddy.
He wants his dad to jump in the air.
No, he doesn't want me to jump in there.
Absolutely.
Well, jumping. Well, that's not levitating. It's not jumpio. So
then hang yourself.
You're like, so anyway, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Was there any? Would you say that any point of the day? What was there a highlight for you? Lunch. White Claw?
Getting back to the car and getting out of the parking garage.
Did you see any sculpture? The dragon? Did you see it blow fire?
Yeah, like, obviously they do a good job, but is it worth $2,000 to stand around?
Did you guys spend the whole day in Harry Potter, or did you do any of the
other
islands?
No, we walked out 10 miles. I looked at my watch. 10 miles of walking. And then we just walked around.
It's easy to do, yeah.
Did you do a raft? Any rafting rides? Any of those?
No, didn't do in the water rides.
You're supposed to wear jeans like a good dad, and then go on the water rides, and then get a swamp ass, and then walk in it all day until you get chafed in your boots.
The chafing is the worst.
Oh yeah, dads in jeans with boots.
Now I kind of have like a little comparison for you, Tom. Yesterday I ran the corporate 5K in downtown.
Nice.
And I don't know if you guys saw the news about it, but it was supposed to be a 5K, and I think it was supposed to start at like 5:30. And the news came through earlier this week that the heat index is going to be close to like 100 for the race.
Oh, yeah.
So they pushed it back an hour, and they shortened the course to 2.4 miles. And when the news came through, I was talking with my wife about it because we ran it together, and I was like, that's fucking stupid. Like, it's not going to be any cooler an hour later. And, like, what are you, like, you've been training for a 5K, but now you need to run I was talking all kinds of shit, and then we went and ran it, and it was fucking brutal. It was fucking insane. Even, like, an hour later and 2.4 miles. I had to walk a little bit. I don't walk when I run. That is not a thing I ever do. And I had to walk a little bit because it was fucking brutal out. And, they shortened the course a little bit so that you get a little bit more of Roslyn this year than you normally do. And so coming down Roslyn to Lake Eola, like you come at that north corner and you're coming down to the south side to make the corner and like go to the finish line.
Yeah.
Right there on that little piece of Lake Eola, I'm coming down and I'm kind of like putting a little heat to it because I've been walking and I'm calling myself a pussy and it's towards the end. So I'm putting a dude was laying, I'm going to say dead in the street.
Oh my God! A homeless guy or a guy running?
I just kind of assumed it was a runner, but like he was. You know how like what a dead guy looks like in a TV show, like laying face down, like all splayed out,
where their legs are akimbo.
The full fucking Family Guy, dude. There was Peter Griffin on the ground and like face down on the ground too, like on the asphalt, and like there were people around him.
Hey, Ross, you gotta help me.
There was people around him already, so me and like hundreds of other people just ran by like nothing was happening, but there was like fluid running away from the body, and like nobody was trying to turn him over. So,
oh my God! So you guys just left him there?
Well, there was people there, like, and then there was an ambulance on the way. It was coming up Orange Ave, but it was all.
I wonder
blocked.
if he drank a lot of water to try to cool down. Sometimes when you're like overheated, and I don't know if anybody's done this, but you're like playing soccer, it would happen a lot. You get overheated, and then you get that headache, which is what I got the day we rode. I overdid it, but you pound water, and then you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I feel sick, and then you just barf up water.
This was like right past the 2 mile mark, so you got like 0.4 to go, and then you can kind of see the corner you turn to the finish line. So I imagine he was just putting the gas on, and he just ran out of gas.
Yeah, I mean it is hot. But also, like, I've seen this, and there's been, like, a lot of, where now that the weather's so easily, I mean, everybody's got a weather app on their phone, and everybody gets it, right? And then every weather app, to get your attention, just like the news used to do, they always, send you an alert message, like, extreme heat advisory, extreme wind advisory.
We'll get them over here.
Then, so they'll send them, and then they'll trigger people to be scared of it, and then it's like, this shit was just as hot 5 years ago before you got this advisory, and you just went about your day, and you were like, it's kind of hot outside.
How did the parks handle it, to go back to you being out there? I mean, as hot as it was, you being out there, it was the day before, actually, you and I rode, so it may have been a little cooler. So what like, are they constantly pulling hundreds of people out of there a day?
No.
They got misters everywhere. I think the solution was misters.
It's just miserable. No one's going to get hurt, you know. Like,
No, but I mean, like, people will pass out.
Yeah, absolutely. Universal, for example, has like a really nice little medical center, and they do like treat people there.
Oh, I'm sure, like, especially because there are people that go there with their family for a full day, try to get the money's worth, walk 10 miles.
Like, grandma overdoes it.
They haven't exercised in 10 years. Like, they haven't done anything, you know, and so that kind of, I'm telling you, it's grueling.
Yeah.
Like, by the end of the day, I got back into the car, and I was like,
you didn't wear sunscreen on your neck, did you?
That's the most grueling thing. No, I've been burnt. Well, I'm burnt up every day. I got to go do shit today.
And you live here. Imagine being some meemaw from Wisconsin, and you it literally was like 40 degrees last month.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Now,
you come from Philadelphia to enjoy the day. I mean, I think there's probably, if we could get numbers, and I don't know if we ever will, I bet you we'd be surprised at how many people go to the medical center.
Okay. Yeah. Last but not least, I will, because
I'll defend the wands, though. Although, I mean, you know what's funny? Never taken Maisie to Universal to use it. She just uses it around the house and does nothing with it. It's a waste.
I mean, well, yeah, it's just
It's just a plastic wand. It does nothing.
Yeah,
it's never been used at Universal.
So the amount of money they wring out of you it doesn't seem like
it's impressive.
Many people push back. Like, people push back on corporate greed, but they don't do it as much on the theme parks. And I think it's because they're beloved so much. But like, they are, I mean, to the cups, you can't get refills. Like, they have a scanner on them.
Yeah, they got little chips now, right?
Yeah, so
just like the fucking wand. Wait, what?
So Crystal,
this I did not know about.
Crystal got we stopped and we're getting something to eat, and taking shelter from the sun. so everybody's in
You're
there
hiding. Yeah, okay.
Like, it is like, you know, like an apocalyptic movie.
You have to fight for a trash can under a tree,
where all the families get herded in the fucking keep because the soldiers are attacking the castles. Like, get below, and everybody's just sitting there with their families, like, waiting it out. That's what it is inside one of these restaurants. Everybody's just like waiting it out, getting a 5 seconds.
Besieged by the sun.
And so Crystal gets a fountain drink cup, right? And then she goes and fills it up.
Yeah.
And then she takes a sip and it's flat. All right, whatever happens, right? She's like, oh, so she pours that out and she goes to just choose another drink because instead of, like, you know, asking them to refill it, you know, it's like, drink something else. And she goes to get it and they're like, nope, you already had your one. Like, because it knew it filled one.
That's embarrassing.
So she had to go back.
That's the lamest thing I've ever heard
because they're ringing every dollar.
But do all the theme parks do that? Does Disney do that? That's embarrassing.
I'm only aware of it because there was recently like an Orlando Reddit thread about
I've never heard of that. I didn't know about that.
There was a thread on Reddit about how to defeat these systems.
Well, you should. You should defeat the system. If you buy a soda at a theme park, you should get soda for the fucking day.
I mean, anytime you buy a soda cup, you should get a refill because it costs like 2 cents, right? Like, if you're paying,
you can get a free refill mega jug.
No, I mean, if you buy a small soda and you get your soda out of it, you could come back and get a fucking refill of your fucking small soda. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is very un-American.
I mean, most of
your wand should be able to refill your wand. Now it just moves the teacup. Turns on a light.
Well, next they're gonna do where you go and you're like, you've moved the teacup once. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're only allowed to wiggle it one time. I mean,
and I know this sounds like old man bitches about money, but
that one.
People attack corporate
greed. Maybe just about fun.
Well, people were saying in the chat room that the reason they put the chip in the cup is to stop people from stealing the sodas. But doesn't the technology in the cup cost as much as people stealing the soda? That's basically unlimited from the soda company that's in bed with you anyway.
And by stealing a soda, Mr. Universal, what you mean is like somebody having one soda and then getting another one for their kid. Oh my God! It's gonna bankrupt my goddamn theme park.
That's dumb. I've never heard it. Like, that's the kind of stuff I hear and it makes me go, and I like going.
Yeah.
But I hear that and I'm like, well, I don't want to support that. That's crazy.
There's certain things that you just know. You go to the airport, the ham sandwich is going to cost $50. Sure. If you go to the movie theater, at my house, I can make a full serving of popcorn for 1 cent. With butter. With real butter. If I go to the movie theater, it's going to cost me an arm and a goddamn leg. You just accept these things. You know them.
I know. Why do we accept it, though? We do. And then we just keep going. And that's the thing. No matter what, the theme parks are always, like, everybody will keep going. They're drawn to it like it's a goddamn spell.
It's also a kid thing, I feel like, primarily.
Don't tell us how that works.
So most people, when you're going, you're not going to deny. Like, when you get to the gate, You know,
Dude,
you've got your
adults
whole
love 'em.
family with you. They do, but primarily for families, right?
Yeah,
the
I
whole
guess so.
package is for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get up there with Maisie if she really wants to go, and they're like, "I'm sorry, sir, it's $2,000," and I'm not going to look around and be like, "I'm sorry, baby."
Do the
We
kids
can't go.
Do the kids really want to go? That's my question. Like, how much?
Ooh,
because I'm
you put a little Trump in that one.
That's
my question. Do the kids really want to
Why do they go? Some would say, maybe some smart people I know would say they shouldn't go. They shouldn't spend this much money. There are other fun things. I'm not saying that. Other smart people are saying. You like somehow like sweep up what you're saying by saying other people say smarter people.
Yeah, I do think that kids really want to go, but for May, it was a phase. It was, I really wanted to go until I found something else I was interested in. If somebody asked her to go now, she'd definitely want to go, but it wouldn't be like I want to go all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when she was into princesses and that sort of thing, yeah. And if you were really into Harry Potter, I guarantee you there are little boys that would want to go every single day. I don't think you have those little boys, but they're out there.
No,
100%.
Yeah,
because it's impressive. You know, like it is an impressive monstrosity of a park.
And
it's only going to get crazier.
Yeah.
And this is not even like something that's in my family because my sister loved Universal. She goes with my niece all the time.
She's a lifer, man.
It's like she's got her seasons pass.
And has as long as I've known.
Yeah, goes like a damn 10 times a year or some shit. Like knows the whole shit. I was like, so she loves it. So it's not, and we're raised in the same family.
You didn't get that.
I'm just like, I want to analyze what's good.
But I don't know if you got that about anything, did you?
What is I don't even if someone walks around Universal, look at the eyes of every other guest walking around there. It doesn't look like they're having a blast. No kids are like, yeah, like they're you know what I'm saying? They're all just, oh no. Yeah. It's like, they're all marching slowly, like
I've
goddamn.
been a part of that before.
Like the Egyptian slaves, where everybody's just marching in the sweltering sun.
A theme park is a lot like life. It's mostly drudgery and then brief bursts of fun.
Yeah. You get to the air conditioning, you get one ride that's pretty good, and you're like,
$2,000.
Trudge on to the next one in the heat.
Trudge on and get your sorry, no soda.
They like that. They like it. All right, we'll take a break.
And corporations are skinning you alive the whole fucking time.
But
it's just like life.
The soda thing is new. I never knew that. That honestly changes how I feel about going to the theme park.
Yeah.
Like, you fill up your soda, it's flat. They're like, I'm sorry, the computer says you.
Well, they gave her another one, but it's not the the customer service is great.
There's something weird about having a computer chip in my soda, though. That's weird. I don't want that in my cup.
Well, it's not. I think it's just a barcode, right? That the actual machine scans.
I think it's different parts. I'm not sure what Universal system
weird.
is.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's fine.
Hey, listen, everybody likes what they like. If you explain why you like, waving the wand and moving the teacup to me, I will.
I'll read you the emails or voicemails.
I will take the explanation because I really am legitimately curious of are you having fun?
I still go back to the cloak. I can defend Juan. Juan does something. The cloak is too hot for a cloak.
Well, that's a costume.
If you, as a human being, can explain the concept of fun to Tom, email Tom at TomandDan.com.
By the way, you'll never win. It's like a carnival game. Would you like to play a new song? This is the artist Jason DeVore that we talked to on Wednesday. He has a brand new song that he just released today. I don't know why he didn't mention it when we talked to him. But the name of the song is Turn It Off. And it is his brand new single off of his brand new album, Till the Voice Goes Out. We'll be right back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. How's your truck, buddy?
It's awesome.
I see you using it more now than ever because it's always got, multiple bikes on the back of it, all kinds of equipment in the back of it. It had mulch in it. It had rocks in it.
I towed my boat with
I'm jealous. Yeah. I'm a little jealous of your Silverado, but I'm just going to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Moving into the New Year's, I would like to see you upgrade. I would like. I'm just throw that out there.
Yeah, I every once in a while, I talk to J.C. Harrelson.
Get the bug. Get the
he's
itch.
like, hey, you can trade it in. They're offering good trade-in values. Get a new Silverado.
More tech that you could get confused by.
And Crystal's got that Traverse she loves, and she got that from Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
I mean, basically, it was a new vehicle. I mean, it was found in the used department, but I mean, you look at it as a brand new car.
Yeah. And so if you're looking for any Chevy vehicle, talk to JC Harrelson at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, dmchevy.com. And that's your hookup. That's the person that's going to take care of you. He's going to give you a salesperson.
I saw that new blue. Have you seen that new blue Corvette?
Oh, yeah.
The blue is you and I saw it on the way to Sanford.
It looks like a supercar. Every time you see it, like my sons think it's on the same level as a Lamborghini or Ferrari because it looks like a supercar.
It is. But, if you really want a nimble vehicle and if you want, like, the vehicle that will probably hook you and keep you loyal, it's the Subi brand. I mean, our Subaru, I'm happy that they are our car partner because we have so many listeners that really enjoy their Subarus.
Oh, we got a super group.
Including Ross McCoy.
Yeah, Tony Moonjets drives his WRX that I had for 3 years on a lease. I had the Super Forcer, which is a great car.
Yeah, just an all-around great ride.
Lifetime powertrain warranties. They hold their value, great resale value. You talk to Mike Stacks. He's at Sports Subaru, North John Young Parkway. I know Tony goes by there all the time just because
he goes by to steal croissants and coffee.
Their brand new dealership is so nice.
He does what my dad did, where he just goes to the dealership and sits around because it's so nice. But that's part of the brand and part of the fun of Sports Subaru and our good friends at DM Chevy.
Yep, it's North John Young Parkway, Sports Subaru, and Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
That was the dreaded Laramie. Life is funny. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. So I was asking Ross during the break if you watched the Tom Brady roast because I got a chance because I saw clips like everybody else. Like I feel like most people nowadays consume popular things in tiny little reels or videos that after the fact that it happened, so they get kind of like a Cliff Note version of what it is.
Yeah, I got bits and pieces, but normally I read about it and then I search out the clips. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just looking for what I want.
It's also 3 hours long, so like I was watching it last night, me and Crystal, and we were like fast forwarding to the good parts.
Too long.
Like I'd fast forward through like when any of the NFL players were doing their roasts. Like
I thought Edelman was pretty funny in that he just looks so unhinged, when he's like...
Yeah, Drew Bledsoe was a little bit... I was like, oh...
Yeah, most people, the consensus is that Bledsoe did well.
He did, but, it's always... When you're not a professional comedian, it's kind of like a little bit cringy.
Yeah, I give him credit for getting up there and trying it, though. It's like, that's a hard thing to do.
Well, those guys are not professional comedians, but their jokes are being written by professional comedians.
No,
It's just about, can they train them to deliver it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Which Belichick cannot. He tried. But anyway, so...
I haven't seen it yet, but if that's the case, I'm going to say it's on the writers, because you know who Belichick is. Write some jokes that will work for him doing him. Because he's not going to do anything else for you.
They did, and he had some funny shit and stuff. Like it's just with the athletes. It's just because I'm nervous for them because I know that they're.
I think that's probably worse for you than most of us because like you put yourself in almost like that fish out of water, and
the comedians are comfortable anyway. But so it's great that we live in an age where these things can be done properly. And by that, I mean, Netflix did this, so they did it uncensored, and they didn't hold back on anything, and this was a proper way to do it. If this would have been, if this would have been done on Comedy Central years ago or whatever, and it had been censored, or the fucking network would have been like, oh, you can't say that, or let's not,
they're calling it the groast, right? The greatest roast of all time. I think that's what Jeff Ross is calling it.
Because, I'm sure he is.
Because he was able to pull it off in the everything he wanted to do. I think he got in there.
Some of those Dean Martin roasts though, some of them, one I was watching, Ronald Reagan fucking shows up. Some Dean Martin roasts you cannot beat. They're just amazing.
I mean, late night TV used to be live, and you drunk Dean Martin on Johnny Carson,
and they did not pull punches back then either, Tom. And full racism. You get 100% full racism. It is not even trying.
They went pretty far too. I And so anyway, I'm just glad that now we could do things properly. And guess what? Like,
make America great again. I get
build that wall.
Mm-hmm. No, well, it's because we used to be ruled by a system of hey, you can't put this, or this is too.
Try to get through this without saying woke.
Extreme. No. I'm saying I'm blaming the FCC and the government and shit like that. It has nothing to do with woke. I'm just saying there used to be like, hey, this can't go on TV for everybody to see. What if kids watch it?
I don't even think it was that. It was corporate sponsors, right? I never think it was like, what if kids watch it? I mean, they'd give kids cigarettes. I mean, it's just, it was
You're
more.
right.
It was more about like, hey, if McDonald's fucking hears this and you called, that person a lesbian or whatever on the roast, we're gonna lose that fucking sponsorship. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
I hate to agree with Tom. You know that, but I just read an article about like how for so many years the arbitrary rule in terms of like sexiness on TV, like you could cleavage, whatever, legs, thighs, whatever, you could not show a belly button. They would not let you show a female belly button on TV, to the point where like sometimes they would just airbrush it out if it kind of like snuck in there. They just
love an airbrush belly button.
Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah. Stupid rules.
Yeah.
That you live by for too long.
Husband wife can't be in a bed together on TV. Dumb stuff like that.
That was the Ozzie and Harriet rule, right?
Yeah. All determined by the fucking stupid government or whatever.
Idiot. Yeah.
Or just like, hey, this is the way I think it should be. You're like, well, who the fuck are you? Why is this?
Why?
Yeah. Like let the people decide what they want to watch, and let the people parent their own kids.
I think we thought we kind of had that when it was on Comedy Central, and they would do it like uncensored or like late at night. It wasn't as much like this, where they did it live, almost as close to independently as you can get. Right?
Yeah. It's the independent nature
other than
of it,
like if Jeff Ross said, "Hey, my roasting company is putting this on, and you can go to this website and watch it."
But I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but I saw some quotes on social media and shit. Like, now everything's fake, so who knows?
Right.
But apparently, Tom Brady said he got paid $25 million to do it.
Whoa, I didn't see that.
And so I heard on another podcast that they think because I even question, like, why would he do it? Because, like, shit, we talked about, like, him.
Isn't that what Jason Kelsey said?
His image.
Jason Kelsey was like, I don't understand the roast things, man. Maybe I take myself too seriously. And, maybe you do.
And they would tear Taylor apart. He could never do a roast because they would just all be Taylor Swift.
Well, no, this was Jason.
Oh, I don't know the difference.
No, it's fine. It's just just retired from the Philadelphia Eagles. But he was kind of bagging on it, saying, why would you do that? And I think his quote was, hey, my family's all mad at me. I destroyed my family. Everybody had a great time. It was hilarious. And I'm like, okay, if you want to take it like that.
Well, yeah, in a roast, they're going to go, and they did go hard. And,
they did.
And a lot of Giselle Bundchen jokes about her cheating with the jiu-jitsu instructor and all stuff like that. And so,
edging closer to family jokes, yeah.
And then, like, him ruining his family and the divorce and, like, a lot of but think about, like, for other rich guys that are like not even in Tom Brady's position, because Tom Brady's richer than most, right?
And more famous.
And so they're looking at like, why put yourself out there for other people to make fun of your family and the mother of your kids?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because those kids will, at least their friends are going to watch it.
It might get back to them. Who knows?
It's the equivalent of someone like if Crystal divorced me and then someone, making fun of the fact that, she was cheating on me with some guy. You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely do that.
And then, so
we would do it at the roast.
And so people speculated that he need the $25 million. He needed extra like liquid cash to buy into the Raiders, which he wanted to buy, which initially he wanted to buy, and the NFL shut him down because I guess what's the goofy haired owner? Mark Davis.
Yeah.
So Mark Davis wanted to sell a portion of the Raiders to Tom Brady because he wanted he wanted Tom Brady to be part owner. So because it's good for marketing, good for
why
business.
not?
But he was offering him way less than the valuation of the Raiders, because the Raiders are fucking evaluated at $8 billion, $10 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
ton of money.
Even if you bought in 2% of $10 billion, that's a goddamn lot of money, liquid cash you need. And so a lot of people don't have that kind of cash laying around. And so it's like, quick 25 million.
Yeah.
Like that could go towards it.
I hadn't heard that. That's an interesting theory.
25 million just to sit there, and then
I thought you were going to say he needed extra to hand to his wife and kids. Here, shut up. Here's $1 million.
And Mark Davis, that was Tom Van calling you goofy haired. So do something. Change your life.
Man, I've been tempted at times to just do that as a goof. But I don't know if I could. I don't think my head in hair is like that. I don't think I have the hair to do that.
No, that's something you've done specifically to look
it's taken years to become that ugly.
So in terms of why would you do a roast? It's been coming up a lot in comedy lately. Why would you do a roast? Why would you say that about a person you like generally? And the metaphor I've come up with to explain it, it's like a boxing match or an MMA fight. If you and I were going to have a boxing match, Tom, and I saw you at the store in Publix, I wouldn't just come up and punch you in the fucking face. We've delineated a time and a place between the ropes to do that, and we've come to a gentleman's agreement that we're going to try to punch each other as much as we fucking can for 2-minute rounds in the ring, and then we'll step outside, we'll shake hands, and we'll go back to our daily lives. A roast is like that. When you get up on that stage, you get on the dais, you get behind that podium, you're agreeing to the terms of we're gonna fucking go at each other, and it's gonna be hard and it's gonna be brutal, and we're out to kill for 2-minute rounds or whatever, and then we'll go to the Waffle House and get some goddamn hash browns afterwards.
It's not serious. It's a competition.
It's a delineated time and place to do a brutal event that you wouldn't do under any other circumstances, really. That's a roast to me.
Okay.
And it's coming from a positive place. And everybody realized that.
I've
your
always
jokes are fucking around.
Sometimes.
Have you ever been to a roast where somebody's
doesn't like the other person?
It happens. It fucks it all up. It ruins it, dude. It sucks the air out of the whole thing.
Yeah, you don't want them to actually
That's
not like
why,
the person.
if you want to be honest, because I've never said this before, I've been asked to participate in comedians' roasts before around town and stuff. Yeah. And I have never agreed to it because I've been to them before and they always get fucked up and people don't do it right, and it becomes where they're being mean and really nasty to the person, and I'm I don't want to do that because it's amateur hour, and I would be an amateur doing it because I don't do that, right? So no, not for me.
The rookie mistake at a roast is a roast joke is something mean and then something funny at the end. And the rookie mistake at a roast is just say something mean.
Right.
Just the mean part.
Here's 6
no punch at the end. Yeah, that's the classic mistake.
Yeah, and so anyway, it was good, and I'm glad we're at a place where we could put up entertainment and just let the people decide whether they want to watch it or not.
I'm glad we're in a place where when a billionaire doesn't have enough money to buy a football team, he can just throw some shit out there and make enough money to buy a football team.
I'm glad we're at a place where Jerry Seinfeld can say that Howard Stern's not funny. I thought that was pretty good, considering they're supposed to be friends for years.
Where's all this Jerry Seinfeld information coming from?
He's losing his mind a little bit.
Every week there's some new horseshit that Jerry Seinfeld.
He freaked out over this frosted,
is it?
Oh, okay, he's doing frosted promo.
No, he's doing the promo. He's doing tons of press for this Frosted movie where
he made a movie about Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, it's the movie about Pop-Tarts, which oddly
never even heard.
You should have got a promo for it during the Brady Roast. That's on Netflix.
Yeah, there was a promo for it during the Brady Roast. And then there was what's interesting about this is he went on Howard Stern, and I want to say in 2018, Jerry Seinfeld went on Stern and talked about how he wants to make a movie about Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
And he's talking about it. And then, he goes on some other show and just starts, assassinating. He's doing press for this Frosted movie, and he starts talking about how podcasters have surpassed Stern and how Stern's never been funny. And I'm like, that's weird. I mean, you can believe that, and I'm sure there are some people that believe that. That's fine. But I thought those guys were buddies. It seems like I don't know. It seems he's having a midlife crisis or something. It feels like Jerry Seinfeld is afraid that we think he's old, so he's freaking out. He's talking about how woke people have ruined and he can't say anything. You're not allowed to say anything, Jerry Seinfeld? You get censored?
And by the way, if you watch this Tom Brady roast, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the whole thing just seems weird to me. It feels like he's freaking out a little bit.
Nikki Glazer, she said the R word in a joke. Calling Gronk the R word.
F word. They were saying all the words.
Yeah, it's and guess what? No one gives a shit.
I just thought it was
weird. You can do whatever you want.
It feels like he put out this movie that was really important to him that he plugged on Howard Stern 10 years prior or something, right? And it feels like he worked really hard on it, and he got all the cameos, he called out all the favors, and he put out the movie, and the movie sucks. And it feels like he's freaking out because the movie sucks.
There's so much talent in that movie, too.
Yeah,
I haven't
stacked.
seen it, and
it's stacked.
but reviews are pretty bad, and just everybody's in that film.
He's also worth a goddamn $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From just Seinfeld for over the years. So it's like, you know, whatever. Some super ultra rich guy is like,
he's just an old man.
Your star is fading. Like, that's what happens to you know.
I do see beef with him and Howard Stern because they're polar opposites. Like Howard's like dirty, funny in the minute. Jerry's like cleaner, funny, but like just totally written to death.
He did walk it back though.
But also like saying he's not funny. He's not a comedian per se. He's a radio or he's a talk show host.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a talk show host,
and he's one of the best to ever do it, based on just the money and the reputation he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like saying anything like you may not like him or may not think he's funny or that it doesn't matter. What he's accomplished already proved.
Yeah. He was just taking them out. Like it was like an assassination based on what podcasts are doing now. And see, my argument to Jerry Seinfeld would have been like, you're asking a man in his 70s to be a young podcaster? Why? He doesn't have an unlimited life. He was the podcaster in radio.
He's less popular than a Rogan now.
Oh, of course he is, because he's 70 fucking years old and he doesn't do it anymore.
His day is kind of come and gone.
Yeah, his day is come and gone.
Yeah, but I think Jerry's just judging him by his metric, like where it's just like Michael Phelps saying, like, you know, Rogan's not a good swimmer. Fuck him, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Also, I saw Seinfeld like 6 years ago,
Bob Carr,
at Bob Carr.
Yeah.
And the opener was funnier, in my opinion.
Ooh, shots fired.
But it was just impressive to see someone that famous standing in front of me.
List of enemies today. Harry Potter, Jerry Seinfeld, this guy.
It just, you know, it just seems like his time has passed. You know what I'm saying? And, like, he's still funny and, like, you know, whatever, but it's like he can't be as funny as he was 25, 30 years ago at the height of his stand-up.
It's impossible.
Know? Guess what? Athletes aren't better 30 years later. Like, there's a lot of people that, you know, you don't get better as you get older. And 30 years have passed, no one's better.
So what do they do next? What do they do next? They do more roasts, you think?
They're 100%. Even like locally, like guys are like, oh, we should do roasts now. Like it's like
about to go through a roast phase.
It's about to be another roast phase, which sucks because I kind of been like planning a roast at the Bull and Bush because like we've been doing weird shit on Wednesdays.
Perfect timing.
You kind of, but then it just looks like you're following trends, and I hate that shit.
Yeah, but we'll say you weren't.
But also, I am like the best in town at roasts, so you know, fuck them.
I like that. I like the confidence,
dude.
God, I need some of
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's a fucking roast.
I have no confidence in anything that I do. I like the way this man talks.
It was just Jolly's birthday, and I reposted the roast to Jolly, which I repost all the time because I love it. But my opening joke is, Jolly, you called me for this roast, and I knew it was you because the caller ID said scam likely, and the room fucking explodes. It is probably the most brutal reaction I've ever gotten to a joke. I love it. It's great.
So one thing before I know we got some news to get to. I want to talk about Rockville because I know we got listeners going to Rockville today.
Normally we get a correspondent. Call in.
Yeah, and then they're going to camp for 2 days in the brutal heat. I need to know why you do it.
Did it start last night?
Is it more popular than ever now that lady like shit on the crowd or whatever she did last year?
Okay. That was a Peloton instructor, Jess King's wife. That lady has 2 kids now. Yeah, she was Jess King. That's Jess King from Peloton's wife. Her name is Sophia Yostaria or something.
Wow.
She sings with the band Brass Against. And yeah, she pulled her pants down and pissed in that biker's face.
Dan had her bio memorized. That's amazing.
Well, only because of Peloton. That's the only reason I know it.
Family members I know less about.
And I know this, like, okay, back to the fun. Fun is subjective and is different for everybody.
Yeah,
I understand.
And you can't have it.
But there's... I think there's some objective fun that it's hard to argue one is better. Okay,
give me objective fun.
So
first of all, do you know the difference between subjective and objective? We need to
I don't know.
Well, objectively means
you'll find out in a minute.
You can quantify it without an opinion. It's actually like this is better than this, or this is. Okay, so
I lost $5 on that definition. That was good.
Because people will be like, "Oh, Tom, I don't like doing the shit you like to do. I hear you. What you like to do is bullshit.
Yeah.
I like going to Rockville and camping on the hot blazing.
I like Harry Potter. I like my cloaks, Dan. Fuck you.
And the infield of the Daytona International Speedway where there's no breeze because it's designed for no breeze.
With my plastic wand.
In the mud and the heat and the black shirt,
black jeans,
7 Dust,
Walmart boots.
So like my idea of a fun Saturday would be sitting in my pool watching NFL, gambling on it with my family, also playing in the pool.
Low key.
Yeah, and I'm in the shade, and I'm
maybe
just,
Tommy's reading you the odds or something.
and I'm just
Are
floating
your
in the
sons
pool.
dressed like racing horses?
Daddy, I have a good prop bet for us.
I'm watching an NFL game, gambling on it, sitting in the pool.
Keno going on in the living room.
I'm drinking.
Max is dealing baccarat. Yeah,
having a White Claw. I'm on some THC pills.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm
Crystal's cooking you a steak.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't do that.
I know, it's a fucking fantasy, dude.
The only thing
I'm saying what I actually
the
like.
The only thing your fantasy is missing, and I think this should be 2025, Tom, fedora. You need a fedora.
I'd like that even in his wildest dream, his wife won't cook him a decent meal. That's amazing.
It's a steak. She'll cook him veggies.
And then if you say that, 1 p.m. Rockville, Daytona International Speedway, in the field, Seven Dust, Blazing Sun.
Yeah.
He's better than that.
Give you a good band. What about a band you really like?
Well, I don't. There's no band that I really like at Rockville.
No, but I mean, like you're saying Seven Dust, and I mean, like there are some bands appearing at Rockville that are like like Mr. Bungle.
Right.
That is a
fucking God.
I would love to see Mr. Bungle. That almost
off-brand Insane Clown Posse is going to be there.
No, that's off-brand Faith No More. It's literally like pegging the needle for me to almost go. Because where are you going to see? Where are you going to see Mr. Bungle? You're not. You can't.
I've never even heard of Mr. Bungle.
Oh, dude, Faith, it's Mike
at the
Patton.
clearance bin at the CD store.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're an amazing alternative rock band. It's one of Mike Patton from Faith No More's greatest bands.
Is it worth standing in a field in the heat?
It might be, yeah. Because you're never going to get to see him play.
The guy I stole my wife away from, huge Mr. Bungle fan.
No, but you wouldn't get to see him. It's like it'd be like having. I'm trying to see. I can't even prove it to you because you're so detached from things that are fun.
Better than the pool in the NFL.
Definitely better than the pool.
It's better than the pool.
Well, it's more unique. It's a more unique experience. Like seeing Mr. Bungle play a set would be like, I don't know, like they only play like maybe twice a year.
I know.
I'm just trying to give you another perspective.
You can't. I can't.
Which show I think is going to be more calming. The pool is going to be more calming.
It's all individual. I know.
It's going to be terrible, but you're getting in it. It's kind of like. Do you think that when you went and you were walking around the where's the place you'd like to go where all the canyons look the same?
Oh, Moab.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
I know.
So like when you're walking around, there's kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
But it's like rewarding, and it's a unique thing that you can't get here, you can't get anywhere else. I mean,
Mr. Bungle put out an album in 2020 that's stunning to me. I think this is the album this guy I knew had. It had songs such as "My Ass Is on Fire."
My Ass Is on Fire. That's a great song.
"Love Is a Fist."
Oh, this was the best of.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Love
It
Is
just
a Fist
said
is a great
91,
song. Yeah,
so-
Love Is a Fist is a great song.
I'm just giving you random Mr. Bungle songs. Then
Give me-
"Squeeze Me Macaroni."
That's my favorite one. Squeeze Me Macaroni. I wanna lock Betty Crocker in the kitchen and lug her off a ding dong. Yeah, that's how it goes. Do you want to hear it? Here, I'm going to give you a little Mr. Bungle so you guys know what you're talking about here.
All right.
And let's see if I can pull this up quickly enough for you. I can't believe
This better be worth the heat.
You've never heard
I've
Mr.
never even heard
Bungle?
that name.
That's crazy to me because like they've always kind of been side by side.
I've heard of Mr. Bean.
Okay.
The funny part is he can't talk, and he's bumbling around London.
All right, 1991, the album was self-titled, Mr.
like,
Bungle. And Squeeze Me Macaroni is about jacking off, and it's got porn sound effects in it. So here's a little Squeeze Me Macaroni from Mr. Bungle.
If I'm looking at that track listing correctly, there's 3 songs. This would be awesome to spoon to, if you ask me.
Oh, there you go. Here we go. There you go.
Mr. Bungle definitely disimproved your spooning. That
It's a
you
little.
were spooning way better before Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, it was a little too crazy.
Now, do they dress like clowns, or was it just like clown shit on? Okay,
there's no clown motifs, or they're just normal. Like
no, there definitely was one album where there was like a scary clown on the front of it for sure.
On this one, it's a clown.
So I just assumed they dressed like that, like ICP.
No, they're just like regular metal musicians.
Okay.
They just look like Mike Patton will have like cornrows and yeah. Anyway.
The going back to the way old media used to do it, I started thinking about this, and tell me if you agree. So we got to talking about the show Dinosaurs from the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And,
Not the mama.
Yeah, and it started with Not the Mama.
Really?
Because I was telling my sons Not the Mama thing.
It started with Not the Mama.
And I was like, there used to be the show called Dinosaurs, Not the Mama. And I think I showed them the show when they were real young. They didn't remember. So we sat. I'm like, I bet I could find it. So you can find anything now. And I think we found it on YouTube, and we started playing like the episode 1 of Dinosaurs, and it does not hold up. And it made
how so?
It's in the fact that it is bizarre and not funny or entertaining at all.
It is.
Wow, man.
It is it is note for note the Flintstones. Like everything, it is the Flintstones.
They just flipped them into anamorphic animals.
In dinosaur costumes, and they added like a couple teenagers to the family, too.
Yeah. And the jokes are the stereotypical family-style jokes of any sitcom.
It's regular sitcom, throw it up, knock it down.
And then a lot of, like, he goes to work, I think, at the quarry, just like on the Flintstones, and his boss is like an old bastard, and there's like there's your stereotypical work jokes, except they're in dinosaur
costumes. We even made jokes about dinosaurs when we called Clear Channel the Quarry. Like that's how old that was.
That's from the Flintstones.
Yeah, I mean, because it was from Flintstones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But as I was watching it, I was like, this is a bizarre fucking show that was beloved when I was a kid. Like, I don't think I was Tommy's age when I was watching Dinosaurs.
I felt like it was beloved for one episode, and then I feel like the world turned on it, right?
It went on for a lot of seasons.
I loved it. It was one of my favorite shows.
How many seasons did it go?
I think it's like more than 5 seasons.
Oh, was it? Because I didn't think so. I thought that in my world, I remember it being popular, and then everybody being like, this is a hunk of shit.
No,
and
really?
then they turned on it.
Because I was like, how did it even last as long as it did? Because, like,
you could say that about our show.
It's a bizarre. Well, here's the thing. Our show lasts because people are watching
4 seasons.
4 seasons. Wow, man. Where was I for the other 3?
I kind of remember it being, I could be wrong about this, but I kind of remember it being a Game of Thrones scenario where, like, everybody liked it until that last episode. Where it was,
then they turned on it.
Where that was just depressing.
Yeah, maybe
wrong.
That's obviously what happened, and I felt it a different way.
And I think people after that last episode were like, "Holy shit, that ruined the whole series for us."
I kind of felt that way about David the Gnome, and I'm not fucking around. I'm not fucking around. The ending of that, I loved that show because it was so loose and just like easy to watch on there. You come home from school, you just fucking David the Gnome's on. It's like it's easy.
And
it's in your pool. It's in your pool. You got the gambling on. You're fine. It's relaxing. But then he ends up turning into a fucking apple tree and dying.
Dinosaurs has the excuse of like all the dinosaurs die, so that kind of has to be the ending. But where the fuck did that David the Gnome shit come from? There was like he could have retired happily to a mushroom and been like a fucking an old
and you
gnome.
can see the triggers in it for me, like when Swift the fox is sad.
Oh, dude!
I love puppies and animals. And when that fucking fox is like meow, and he's like, "No, I must go die." It's like, "Whoa, my god!"
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to analyze because some of these shows, they're the only way to know whether
is a Jim Henson thing, right? Wasn't it?
Almost would have to be.
So I'm trying to give you more fuel for why it was popular. I think it may have been propped up.
Well. Also, the only way to quantify its success was through archaic rating systems that were all bullshit anyway, and then they would do like
and popularities of merchandising, like they do. They could figure it out this way. They do like, get the new Dinosaurs Burger King Happy Meal. But, man, we're getting a lot of things, and then they'd be able to tell that it's working.
But at the core of it, why was there merchandising? Because this show had a catchphrase, and at that time, that like fucking don't have a cow, man. That's why The Simpsons was huge. Not the Mama propelled this show into the stratosphere because everybody, I remember being a kid and people were like walking around, not the Mama, not the Mama, not the Mama. Any chance you got, you throw out a not the Mama. Where's the beef? I've fallen and I can't get up. All these things were out there, and then they were reporting, and then t-shirts sold because they had a little baby on it and said not the Mama, and everybody's like, I want the not the Mama t-shirt. So that's why they shit.
No, and then they had the doll that said not the Mama.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah. It was hard as fuck to find. You couldn't find one.
Yeah.
I think my dad was going around to different Kmart's trying to find a fucking not the mama dinosaur. It's like, what are you doing with your life?
But I'm telling you, watch it. It's bizarre and not.
Do the boys like it?
Hell no.
Okay.
They were confused. They're like, they started like just drifting off. They're like, this is not good.
It was
at all.
a Jim Henson show, so that's another reason I think that there was a pretty decent amount of anticipation because, like, basically, even now. I feel like if you say, hey, guys, there's a brand new Jim Henson Studios Muppet thing coming out, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be quality. And I think for the most part, it is. You know, like they know what they're doing, but you're right. This one was a weird one.
Any first episode is going to be stiff. You got
maybe it's later on. Yeah. It felt to me like there are all these shows, even like Golden Girls. We had Golden Gals on the show earlier this week, and like that, the premise of that is odd that it was so popular and amazing. And then I was like, were these shows like Golden Girls? Yeah, that's subjective too. But were these shows actually good, or did they just last in a time where there was no way to really know if a lot of people actually liked them?
Unfortunately, because now if that's the case, then the stuff that people think is really good now shows our intelligence. Yeah. Because if Golden Girls was good back in the day, and if like everything we're watching on TikTok is considered what is really popular, then we're fucked.
Well, I mean, like shows, like now we have infinite amount of choice.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then it's up to the people, like there's like, all right, what do you want to watch? It's up to you. And back then it was like, all right, this is what's on TV. You're forced to watch it. So were we just forced to watch the dinosaurs, or did we want to?
Some stuff absolutely was just like forced on us for sure.
It just came on, and that was the only thing, so we all watched it. Yeah. And I think and there was all these bizarre shows that just survived because of that system.
Like MASH. I feel like MASH is one of those shows. I've never laughed at one joke in MASH.
As a child, I loved this show called The Greatest American Superhero, and if you go watch it right now...
Look what has happened to me. Greatest American Hero. That's a great-ass show, dude.
When's the last time you revisited it?
Nostalgia.
I went as him for Halloween.
I would rather die by drowning than watch
they're horrible.
God, your kid almost died by drowning.
The Greatest American Superhero.
That's the worst thing you can say. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? This guy hates that show.
The show sucks.
I'm going to watch that tonight, and I'm going to text you.
It's such a great concept. And
man, that show was the shit. I love that. There was another show, MacGyver. Does MacGyver hold up?
It does not hold up. Nothing holds up.
You're going through everything with your boys, aren't you?
No.
See, I don't get to watch any of this with Maisie. She's not interested in anything that
holds up. I will defend Cheers.
Does hold up.
I've watched Cheers recently, and it holds up.
I thought Golden Girls hold up. Like, I think the jokes hold up. Like, there's a lot of, like, pseudo, like, pushing the edge. There's a lot of boner jokes.
I think today, yesterday, whenever, I think the important thing, like, character-driven stuff with good writing is going to be timeless no matter what. And then just schlock that they're just putting out on TV to make a buck, no matter what time you're in.
Does Game of Thrones hold up? Like, you just recently watched it.
Yeah, but that wasn't that long ago, and it's an epic fantasy movie. You know what I'm saying? Like
if I went and started number one, like right now, would I be like, oh, this is cool?
Yeah.
I worry about that sometimes. Like, I've been tempted a couple of times to go back and watch, like, the first Lord of the Rings. Will it like be like, oh, this is gross?
No, those dinosaurs I'm telling you, it's a bizarre, because the costumes are so goofy and ridiculous
and cumbersome. They're like constantly bumping into each other.
And then also,
I don't think they could see.
The jokes are kind of corny, and the whole premise is bizarre. I'm just telling you, it is fucking bizarre.
No, they wrote like a C-level show, and then they were like, put them in dinosaur costumes so it'll be better.
The dinosaurs were the life preserver for the sea riding.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But it's like, how did this exist and live?
I think my answer, if I had to give you one that we bet on, I'm going to give you the guy's name, and I believe it's Jim Henson. I honestly believe that all you needed to say, because, dude, the guy is a god.
I got
and
five
I think you go in there and you go, we got a new show. It's about dinosaurs. We're flipping the switch on the Flintstones. We're making the humans the dinosaurs, but we're doing the same concept, and Jim's fully in on it. And everybody's like, all right, then we'll just write a check.
I think they're still going to need a hook, and then you're going to be like, there's a baby with a catchphrase, and boom, that's it. You're done.
Are there any shows now that have babies with catchphrases?
You like a Family Guy?
But their sitcoms don't exist, really.
Yeah, they do.
Do they exist?
You're watching one right now with your family. Isn't that the one you guys are watching now? It's on. It's syndication. You see it every afternoon on the CW.
Young Sheldon.
Yeah, Young Sheldon. That's a sitcom.
My sons, they're just going to refer to me, I guess that is kind of, but I'm saying like
in serialized form, like used to be. Now you find a sitcom, you watch all 3 seasons, and then you move on to something else.
Was Malcolm in the Middle ever good?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. That's how I learned to be a dad. Seriously.
I always knock first.
I didn't have a dad. I looked at Malcolm in the Middle's dad, and then I was like, that's how a real dad. That's why I wake up and make breakfast every morning.
That's a real man.
He's stressed out all the time, and his bitchy wife is yelling at him. And I thought how a family.
There's a lot of acting talent on that show. I remember the writing being pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah. I remember, didn't Frankie Muniz walk off the set?
I don't know.
I think he did.
Oh, yeah?
I think there were a couple episodes that he wasn't in because he was kind of coming of age, and he's like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm Frankie Muniz.
I remember somebody was just on maybe like Patton Oswalt or somebody was just on a podcast, and they were saying that he was the doctor in a clip show episode. Like the boys and the dad go to like a psychiatrist, and then this comic was the doctor, and it's a clip show, and it was because the mom had like a paycheck flu. She wanted to negotiate her salary, and
that's true. I read that.
She stayed home sick.
Yeah. They had a lot of things on set, and they wouldn't stop. They just like, we'll power through. We'll just put a stand in, or we'll just write her out for those shows,
or we'll do a clip show or whatever.
Yeah, she's got the flu. Yeah.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll do some news with Ross.
Actually, I looked through the news file, and it was all really depressing bullshit. So, kind of on the fly, picked an explosion of the week.
Okay,
well, we have your new theme ready to go. We finally have the good one.
Excellent.
From Jackal. I get to debut it. It's going to be great.
We also, I want to talk about Ric Flair. Daniel told me about.
We can go through the video. That way, we don't have to censor it. We can we can allow Rick to speak the way that drunken old men traditionally speak.
What's he doing? Posting hot pictures of his daughter on Instagram?
No. He got into an altercation with someone at a restaurant. And
really?
Then, like all of our contemporaries in Tampa, a lot of the radio shows are saying, he's a national treasure. We must protect him. We got to put a bubble around him and protect him from these altercations.
Who's going to fight Ric Flair?
You'll see in the video.
Okay.
You'll see in the video. All right. The name of the band or performer, Arcadia Gray. The name of the song is Top Deck Genzo. Don't know what that means.
I parked my car outside.
We'll be right back.
Last Tuesday, I stared inside your window. And I know it's kind of creepy, and I'm fucked for doing so.
There's a reason why Fair Villa keeps opening stores all around Florida.
It's because people have buttholes. That's why.
Well, there's that, and because when you're buying these type of items that are sexual wellness, stuff that...
Don't buy them from Temu. Oh, my God. Are you insane?
It's good to...
Have you smelled our mouse pads from China? You don't want to do that. You want to get... you buy
high
them,
quality.
Go to the store.
Yeah, because what Fair Villa has been doing for damn near, how long?
It's not about products with Fair Villa.
40
it's about
years,
relationships with Fair Villa.
Yeah, and they vet all of the companies they work with and the products they sell in their store. Therefore, you're getting the top quality and the best products made.
Some of their items are handmade. Some of their items come from one-off vendors. Like some of the relationships and people they work with, they've been working with for 40 years.
And everybody in the store is knowledgeable and can tell you about all the products and are professional.
And there's no shameful, weirdo questions.
No.
If you got something you need to ask, any shape, LGBTQ+, whatever you are, ask them, they'll give you an answer.
Costumes, lingerie. I mean, they opened up their Sanford location a while ago, but they got a location in Palatka now. They got a location over on the coast. They got a location on I-Drive.
You want the plugs, you want the knots, you want the books. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. They are not going to judge you if you come to them with a question, because what they really sell is the relationships with the companies and the products that they have, and it's the customer service of the people that work there.
Also, if you've never...
He's going off script,
I'm just saying.
He's off script, folks.
There's people out there that have never even dabbled in this world.
You gotta dabble.
And you're doing yourself a disservice because the technology they have is insane.
Did you see that thing they put on the BDM page? Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was like an upgraded auto blow, kind of mechanism. It's like, there's no reason to be lonely with AI and that thing. You've got somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God, what a time to be alive.
It's true. It's fairvilla.com.
I can't wait for you to call.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Hot Water Music, brand new song featuring Dallas Green, After the Impossible. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
So you want to do Explosion of the Week or talk about the Ric Flair thing?
I got to get your song. I got to get your.
We got a Ric Flair song?
We do not. I wish we did have a Ric Flair song. Do you want to do Explosion of the Week? Let me find the song here.
Yeah.
Because I know that Jackal sent me the brand new song, but, you know.
Where do you go about finding these explosions, Ross?
I told you. Remember we talked about that New London school explosion in Texas?
Let's see if this is it. Is this it? Yes, this is it. Here we go.
When the news isn't good, neither funny nor unique. When there's been no confrontation, Ross's life fairly bleak. People getting blown up is always pretty sweet. Explosion of the week.
All right. See, that's a prime example.
Fuck you, AI.
About
take that right up your ass.
Someone getting motivated by competition.
Yeah.
Jackal's like, oh, I'm going to show you.
He's like, I'm going to put all the bells and whistles in that shit.
Yeah. But guess what? AI's working day and night to get better.
Yeah, it will.
It's working right now. It will be better.
Knock. Who's behind you? AI. Right behind you.
You have a limit on how good you
can get. Do you hear this? That's AI tapping on your shoulder saying, hello.
Yeah.
And how right was he? I was like, I got no news. I got no confrontation. Let's do an explosion. He called it in the fucking song.
I mean, I knew that he said that because I've heard that. I'm the only one in this room that had heard that before. So when you said that, I'm like, oh, shit. Is he AI? It made me think he's AI.
Maybe he's psychic.
He could be.
We should just say that was AI.
Oh, now you've done it. Email Tom,
AI
please. Jackal, oh, my God. Here, what do you go? Look how good it is. This is AI.
Oh, okay. AI created this. 12 seconds.
When the news isn't good, neither funny nor unique. When there's been no confrontation, Ross's life fairly bleak. People getting blown up is always pretty sweet. Explosion of the week.
Oh, I just have some bad news, and this makes it way worse for what you just said. For live from the chat room, Jackal is not in the chat room. He's out working Rockville.
Oh,
you motherfucker.
So hot.
You just created an enemy, motherfucker. You're like, AI wrote that, and the guy who wrote it is working at Rockville.
That's the worst punishment. Worse than anything I could say. All right,
what you got, buddy?
All right, Explosion of the Week. Let's go back, Tom, back to April 1585. You know what was going on. You remember, don't you, Tom?
The year 1585.
Yeah.
Okay.
1585.
But this is how bad I am at history. I can't even comprehend what I'm envisioning. Game of Thrones.
Okay. No, you got to envision wool. Lots of wool.
Okay, wool. Yeah,
right?
Well, that's
Lots
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you're right. King Robert has just taken the throne. And,
but I'm saying,
he's coming back from a boar hunt.
The Targaryens are fleeing.
Yeah, he has an injury from a boar hunt, and he's on his way back.
That's
and
way later.
It got infected.
Is that the right kind of time period?
Fucking asshole gave him too much wine. Remember that?
Middle Ages? No, that's Renaissance period? What is that?
We're like, let's call it the Renaissance, because that seems like
Shakespeare?
Shakespeare.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. They're all wearing, they got the tricorn hats and the flouncy pants and everything. In Dutchland. You know where the Dutch live?
No.
Antwerp. So Europe's just a fucking cauldron at this point, Tom.
Sure.
They're a fighting and they're a feud.
Game of Thrones.
A lot of boats.
Dutch getting a feud with the Spanish, right? And so Antwerp is the Spanish side. They're going to seize this Dutch city of Antwerp, right? So they build this big road from Spain to Dutchland to ferry supplies and stuff. And their plan is to capture this fort that the Dutch have. They can't capture it. They just can't get it. So what they do is they go a little bit up the river. They build a fort on either side of the river.
We'll build our own fort.
And they dam up the river between the two forts and build this big bridge. And they're like they're cutting off the Dutch water supply. It's a big deal. They can't get their boats loose and stuff.
Yeah, I mean shipping is everything back then, right? Getting your goods down the rivers.
Not to mention just a couple of Spanish forts right here, right outside our Dutch capital. We got to shut this down, And they're using it in the siege of Antwerp. You were talking about sieges earlier. They're besieging Antwerp. People are all huddled up in cellars. They're eating rats and stuff. It's getting desperate.
You and your rats.
And it took a long time back then, which always bothered me because you lived less. So that, like, they put on a siege, and like this siege will siege.
My king, they'll be here in a mere 3 months.
They're like,
dear God.
By the time it takes us to build this dam, and by the time they run out of water,
die of scurvy.
They'll be out of here in like 2.5 years. You're like, 2.5 years.
You got to get married at 14 because you'll be dead at 17.
That's a quarter of my life.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the Dutch are like, how are we going to take this bridge out? And this guy, Federico Gimbelli, I think
Italian wild man.
He's probably Italian. It says here they hired him. There's some discrepancies amongst
I can take her into the bridge.
the various Wikipedia articles, so I don't know. But so they hired this guy, and his plan is, what we're going to do is, we're going to build these things I'm titling Hellburners. And this is that's Federico, not me. Federico, he builds these things called Hellburners.
It's a hellband.
Oh, it's like Dragonfire.
Yeah, I like exactly.
And I guess they had like these fire ships where they would they'd put a ship and they'd put some wood and maybe some oil and like float it towards the bridge, set it on fire. They're kind of like playing a slow game of like getting the Spanish. Oh, this is what we're doing. These fire ships,
like
right?
Japanese lanterns at a bridal shower.
And so
burn the forest down.
Gimbelli, he's like, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some of those big old the big old boats like the Santa Maria and the Pinta, like some
big wooden boats,
some Columbus sized boats, and we're gonna we're gonna take the holds, empty out the holds, we're gonna line them with like brick, right? And put just a shitload of gunpowder in them.
Oh, I like this guy.
And then like nails and bricks.
Oh, shit.
And
for shrapnel.
God, Federico? Is that his name? He ain't fucking around.
And I'm hearing here also old tombstones.
Oh, shit. Kill people with their own grave markers? That's some sinister shit.
So basically making a giant boat pipe bomb.
Yeah.
And then rocks, iron shards, other objects, it says. And they keep
Put
like
some bones in there.
They keep like they will do like a layer, they'll do some slabs, they'll do a layer, they'll do some slabs, so it's all like under compression, right? And then they put a deck on top, and so they launched like 32 of these normal fire ships, the ones that just like kind of burn and go, and then the Spanish kind of used to like putting them out or whatever, and then they let loose 2 of these fucking hell burners. One is named Fortune and one is named Hope.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fortune and Fiendster for the other one.
And one of them, so Hoop, packed full of gunpowder, packed full of shrapnel. It's got a slow burning fuse going, right?
All right. Oh
and Fortune, packed full of shrapnel, packed full of gunpowder. It's got this clockwork device that is set to go off at a certain point and just start spitting sparks all around.
Where did this Italian man come from? This guy's a lunatic, right?
Dude, if you go...
I feel like he's a mastermind. Like, this guy's crazy.
It's... The Italian... This is, as a half Italian... This is their fucking thing, dude. Go look at Da Vinci's drawings. Half of them are like anatomical sketches of like that Vitruvian man or whatever, and half of them are fucking a thing that you put 2 horses between with chains, and it just mows through armed men and murders them like a goddamn lawnmower.
Wow.
All Da Vinci did was invent shit to kill dudes in between helicopters and stuff.
I do like how ancient man, we became really smart about how to kill each other, but we still thought the earth was flat, had no idea about penicillin. Like all of anything that would save any lives.
But men are threats. Men are threats. I got to protect myself.
We're just building giant ship pipe bombs and all this.
Well, that's just cool.
We've only had medicine for so long, but we've had poking each other with sharp shit the whole goddamn time,
this
dude.
Sounds pretty damn... I mean, this is very intricate, I feel like.
People died in the worst way back then, too. I mean, horrible.
Oh, this is a grueling way to die.
You lived a horrible lives, and you died horribly.
I mean, think about how crude this is made. So when your leg gets ripped off, it's going to be ripped off in a really, really poor fashion.
Okay, and just to let you know, put it into your perspective. How much gunpowder do you think is in a bullet, Tom? Just a guess. I don't know. I'm just like...
I mean, 2 grams?
Sure. I'll agree to that. And that's pretty big pow, right? It does the job. See, these boats are charged with about 7,000 pounds of what Wikipedia is describing as high-quality corned gunpowder. I don't know what corned means in terms of gunpowder.
That means it's been fucked.
But I do know what 7,000 fucking pounds means, and it's a lot of gunpowder.
Corn sounds like it's been packed down so tight that when it explodes, it gets like a little extra poof. I just made that up, but that's what it sounds like.
Or they cut it with cornmeal or something like that.
Well, that wouldn't make it stronger, would it?
No.
I don't know.
So they set the little fire ships loose, right?
Yeah.
They set the hell burners loose.
The original fire ships are sort of like decoys at this point, right?
They kind of got them used to them. They're like, yeah, this ship's on fire. We're trying to burn your bridge down. That's our thing. And then the Spanish are like, okay, we'll go fucking put it out with buckets of water or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the Fortune and the Hoop, they put that wood, pallet on top.
Is pre-popped, meaning, so not in a bullet. Loose. I guess that means loose.
I still have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
So they put a couple like fires on top of the deck of these ships too. So it's like, look, it's just another one of these fire ships they're putting at us, and business as usual. So they sent them loose. Fortune is the one with the clockwork in it. It kind of drifts over to the bank and just grounds itself and blows the fuck up. No damage to the bridge. Very little damage to the Spanish troops at all. And so Hope keeps drifting in and comes up against the bridge. And the Spanish are like, go put out the fires, because that's what they've been doing, right? The thing goes up. Oh, shit, I lost my bookmark. But the thing goes up. 800 Spanish troops killed in the explosion.
Whoa, dude.
Rocks and pieces of metal, distances several kilometers. Large dark cloud covered the area. Blast was felt as far as 22 miles away in Ghent, where windows vibrated. Whoa. And it caused a tsunami on the river.
Oh, wow, man.
7,000 pounds of gunpowder taken out this bridge.
So, and imagine like you're one of the other guys, and like it's like, hey, go put out that wrong ship. Or,
I got a bucket.
And go.
Oh my god! It just blows, and you just ragdolling through space.
You've already been having diarrhea for weeks.
It's relief.
You already died.
Is sweet relief.
But it's like, but no, it doesn't kill you. It's sweet relief.
Oh, it just blows off your feet, and you land in a cornfield, and then you lay there in the hot sun like you're at Rockville,
and you're like, oh god, my life has been tough. like, oh god, I mean, that life was horribly tough. Like, from beginning to end.
Eating is hard because your teeth are rotting out, they're black, and it hurts to take a bite.
Yeah, so much death.
Everything smells like shit.
It hurts so much.
I like it from the perspective of these Dutch guys that are being invaded. Like they,
Where'd they find this magical Italian that just wandered up?
It says the Queen of England kind of paid for him because she hated the Spanish.
This sounds very much like what they do in Game of Thrones or anything. They're like, you need to get like Federico, and then he shows up at the door and says, "Hey, I'm the bomber guy."
Well, Game of Thrones, the imp, he floats a bunch of goddamn fireboats towards a naval fleet.
100%.
So they take from history with that.
Yeah, 100%. They steal. Yeah, he's doing.
But I like this, Tom. Imagine it from the perspective of the Dutch troops. They launched all these fireboats, and they're watching the Spanish put them out for weeks or whatever to get them all used to it, and then they put these two goddamn hell burners out on the river.
It's like bowling. It's like bowling a granny ball
because it's
watching it go.
You're putting 14,000 pounds of gunpowder on the water, and then just going nudging it out, and it's out of your control. One of them kind of drifts. You're watching, and you're doing that thing where you're the one's drifting over the bank, and you're like, no. You're kind of nodding your own head like you can influence it, and it hangs up, it blows up, and you're like, fuck. That's half of our goddamn gunpowder. Yeah. And then the other one's slowly drifting in, and maybe it goes a little bit towards the shore, and you're like, no.
And I would like to think that Federico, after the first one blew up, everybody's looking at him and fuck you, dude. And
right.
He's like, no, wait, I got one more. Believe in me. I want him pleading his case as it goes.
And then it makes it to the bridge, and then you're still not golden because the Spanish troops are rushing on there to put it out.
Maybe they popped. He's like, I see, I told you.
But then maybe the Spanish troops capture that ship, and they got 7,000 pounds of your gunpowder now, and then it blows, and everybody's like, yeah! Woo, fuck you, Spain! Fuck you!
I'll be dead in 2 days.
Then the wine.
One of the children, they'll all be dead soon.
And then the wine, you get the wine, you're having a party, right?
So
you have a big party? You have a feast?
Do you honestly think that the fact that things are better in the future makes the past any less? In the future.
What are you all doing this for?
Tommy and Max's great-grand...
We gotta do something.
Tommy and Max's great-grandkids will be able to teleport shit directly out of their colons. It won't even... Your aunts won't even be involved anymore. They'll look back at us and think we were cavemen, but it's fun. It's fine right now.
So I stood next to a giant wooden ship in St. Augustine like 2 weeks ago, right?
Okay.
It was in port.
You think you're better than me?
And it was apparently like my buddy Andres, like, I just saw this ship in Boston like a month ago. He was in Boston. It was like they
sailed it, or they put it on an 18-wheeler.
No, there's probably they sailed it down the intercoastal or whatever.
Wow.
Get the fuck out!
They sailed a boat.
Oh, it probably has just they probably motor it down because it's a replica old ship.
Why don't they give the guys on those boats a better costume? Their costumes are always like some shit-ass spirit shit.
It's true to the time.
No, make it look nicer. No, I'm saying
what's a tourist company?
I went on one of those rum boats and we're going around and the guy's costume was shit.
But anyway, I stood next to it and I was like, God damn. Like, it's all built from wood. And I'm like, the time it must have, like, it looks hand built. It probably, there's a machinery nowadays because it's replica.
China, 3 days.
But in the 1500s, that motherfucker was hand built, right? And they're just blowing them up, setting them on fire. Like the boat builders, it must have taken years to build one of those boats.
Well, Dutch had it down, right? I mean, they were the guys.
The hard part was acquiring all the wood. Just think of all the acquisitions. Like, you need
axe it down.
You need a goddamn 50-foot tall, perfectly straight post for your mast. Finding that tree is a pain in the ass, dude.
So speaking of that, I got into it's in my algorithm. This old man that makes his own shit in Alaska or whatever.
That's what you just.
I shit in Alaska.
No. He makes he made his own log cabin. He makes everything by hand.
Live off the land man.
Yeah,
are these the guys that make their own buzzsaws and they're cutting their own lumber?
Did he make his own?
Have you seen those guys?
Internet connection to upload to TikTok?
No, this is some 1950s or 60s television show or documentary about this old man that lives in Alaska, and he narrates it himself. I don't know what it is, but it's just clips of it on TikTok, and now it's in my algorithm, so I watch it.
Is it that Disney one that was bullshit?
Is it bullshit?
There was a very famous Disney one where Disney made up just a lot of facts about the North to sell movies.
This isn't actually it looks like someone's filming him, and he's making everything by hand. He's got literally a handsaw and he whittles all his shit so he's like today, and he talks super mellow. He's like, I'm gonna make myself a ladder today, and then he goes and saws down a tree, multiple trees, and then what is it? Shucks off the goddamn bark of it or whatever. Using some hand tools.
I'll accept shuck.
hand tools. Fine. A goddamn
peels the bark off.
Ladder. Drills the hole for the fucking.
Yeah, he makes the pegs and nails them in there with a rubber mallet.
And then days, to go.
Does he glue it? He varnishes it.
It may take some 2 weeks to make him this fucking ladder. That shit will last for a goddamn it's like a pioneers made this. And so I'm just looking at a ship, and there was hundreds of people like this old man building the ship, and then meticulously shaving all the wood, cutting the timber down. It's a crazy amount of work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's insane that someone can do this.
It's not this old man, is it? It's not. Somebody in the chat room saying Dick Pranaki in Alone in the Wilderness. That's not him, is it?
No, this is old school.
So it's an old 50s documentary of some sort.
Yeah. And apparently they filmed a lot of it because there's a lot of different.
Do you think
TikToks
you could, if you had to?
No.
If there was they're talking about this crazy solar flare that's happening.
Yeah.
He does know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To be fair to him, we do after
none of us
doing
could.
this for
we have
so
no
many years.
skills of that.
But yeah, we have the big solar.
He could have waited a second to let you have your say, but that's
yeah. He never does that. He doesn't like to play anymore. Do you think you would get a chainsaw and try? Could you? If I gave you whatever tools you have in your garage, and I said or I gave you the wood even. And said, here, make a ladder that can hold Jelly Roll. Could you do it?
Is YouTube still on? Because I need YouTube. Without YouTube,
no, because I think the test would be to use what you think would be best and use logic.
You'd have to figure some shit out.
Yeah, you'd have to use some logic and be like, well, that's not going to work because that's not going to be true. Or those nails, if I put them in that way, they're less strong.
And then your first effort's going to fucking suck. Your first ladder is going to fucking suck.
And this maybe is why we are in business together, because I know I don't have a lot of confidence, but for some reason, I do feel like I could do that. I feel like I get like if
By
push,
hand?
If push comes to shove in an apocalyptic scenario, if I needed to make a ladder or something, I feel like I'm pretty good at shimmy dog hamming stuff.
Have you ever done carpentry?
No.
Well, then no.
I mean,
there's no way
I
you
did bits
can
and
do it.
pieces when I did the when I was doing the stairs and whatnot for Carolina Cross Connection. That when I was building stairs and doing roofing
I don't want
and stuff like that.
Bring up a sore subject, but your scooter is
I know.
That's been 3 years of the month.
That's not wood. That's not wood. That's not wood. It hasn't been 3 yet. I'm not going to let you exaggerate like everything else.
And that's all prepackaged. You have to put that together right, or it doesn't fucking work. What you're saying is like, if push come to shove, you could make something that you could get on your roof with. Now you couldn't go down to like the farmer's market and sell it to somebody because it's going to be a raggedy piece of shit. But you could make something that you could get on your roof with.
But
he gets it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm guessing after a while. But what I'm saying is, it's so incredibly hard because it takes so much knowledge and skill and like
to make a perfect ladder.
But
you could slap together 2 2x4s and nail some boards between them and get up on your goddamn roof.
I think I could make a ladder.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I could do that. I mean, I can get 2x4s and make a ladder. I've made a ladder before.
Okay.
But hand tooling, custom,
really sore subject. The ladder.
I'm just do it like I saw make a bowl, like make a bowl.
Well, like I watch those guys too that use the what is that called? Like a
lathe.
Yeah, a lathe, and then they'll like use the little, like a sharp edge, and then they'll tool it down. Like, oh my god, they get like so close.
Yeah.
And then the most satisfying part at the end is when they're wiping it with the oil. Like where they have to treat it, because it's wooden and I guess it's still living and porous and it'll absorb, whatever you put into it. But that is fascinating. I look at all that shit on Reels because I'm not on TikTok and I go like, I should do something like that. I think that's why I bought these stupid fucking spoons. It's like I feel like I gotta touch wood or something,
That's why my wife made the goddamn pergola. She was watching a bunch of construction videos. She's like, you know what? I want to do something like that.
I used to admire when Crystal would do that, but I don't think she has time for it now because she's been doing some training with you. But I always liked it when you'd come back and be like, Crystal built a butcher block table over the weekend. I'm like, God damn, I should do some shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, the people I admire are anybody who can actually build something.
Handcrafting is cool.
Especially if you take a normal little ship and turn it into a hell burner.
You guys want to do a couple of voicemails?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let me pull up a couple here, and then we will ease into the weekend. I know I picked some last time we went to do this. I don't think we even got to any of them.
Voicemail from the Jackal. Fuck AI.
It could be. Let's try this one right here. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Sean from Vegas. I was listening to the Dustpan Man episode, and I had a question for Tom. Tom, if your kids were left alone with a computer and they knew mom and dad weren't going to be home for an hour, they'd probably, if they search maybe they'd search butts and start laughing, or maybe they'd search doo-doo or something like that. But at some point that search is going to progress and it's going to get inappropriate. So my question to you, Tom, is which one of your 2 kids would be the one that searched the inappropriate question and what or whatever they search for, and what would be the thing that they search for? The end of my question.
Oh God, he died at the end there.
I'll tell you the inappropriate thing I searched for at my buddy Alex's house when I first found the internet, and it was "girl sucks horse cock."
Whoa.
I was 14 years old.
Literally blew my hat up. I did not expect that. That might be the most shock. I may have to have Melissa go back and check my eyeballs on that one. Why did you search? I mean,
that's the generational divide right there, Dan. Our generation, we got to the computer, we typed in boobs.
I did type in boobs.
And then I don't know,
I'm a fucking nerd. And
5 or 6 years later, the kids were already into fucking horse cocks. We're older than you, so we got to it first. Do you understand how time
You didn't want to see someone suck a horse dick.
Hold on.
I'm crying. I did not expect that. Say something, guys. I'll tell you what I searched, guys. And you blew my fucking hat off.
Everybody searched that.
I mean, I did when I got older, yeah.
It wasn't the first fucking thing,
It was not the first thing. I searched boobs first. And maybe.
Dude, I may have been in my late 20s before I searched for horse cock.
I put that, horse cock sucking and beheadings are very close.
Actually, I remember it was The Hideout. The Hideout did a podcast, the first Orlando podcast I can recall, about that horsecock video, and Clear Channel wouldn't let him put it up So they put it up on hideoutheretics.net, non-existent anymore. Don't bother going there. It's probably spam.
my God.
Yeah.
I'm joking. But we did search that at my
Jerry
buddy's house.
Seinfeld damage control over here.
No.
This is a walk back. This is a full walk
you're
back.
a Woodstock guy.
But you're a kid. You're like, what could be on the internet?
Yeah.
What's the most crazy
I
thing you
pushed
could
it as
think
far
of?
as I could go.
So believe me,
I did dead people sex before. I
Tub
remember,
girl.
because rotten.com. Mine was rotten.com.
No, after the horse thing, never.
Never went back.
I was like, whoa.
Never went back. And that's why he's not good at computers.
That scared him when he typed in 1950s man making ladder in Alaska. That's all
where
it's
he
been
stays.
since. Yeah,
he's never. That scared him from computers.
But I also think I was like, everybody was exposed, at least we all were, to shit we shouldn't have been early on.
Absolutely.
So I think when's the correct age to be exposed to something? Like, no matter how old you are, if you've never been exposed to it, you're going to be shocked by it, right? Like,
and at a certain point, you become like so old that you haven't been exposed to it that it's weird. You're 20 and you've never seen porn or whatever.
I was younger than Tommy when I was at my buddy Joe's house, and his cousin was there, and then his cousin had a porno magazine, and he bunch of them. He's like, all right, everybody look at them.
Everybody pull your dicks out.
We're sitting on his couch in his living room. Like, his mom was never home. His mom was working.
And single mom.
And I remember looking through porn, like some Hustler magazine. And
smoking a cigarette.
And some girl
going about your day.
Watering ice dildos. I still remember it out of a pot.
It's the most vivid memory. It's your first memory.
And then I'm like, what the fuck?
It's your eye-opening memory, like a baby.
And then I remember like my buddy's cousin, like he was 16 or something. Like, I'm 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
And then I remember him like
your eye still does are melting.
I'm like, do you like that? I was like, oh, okay.
What, the guy said that to you?
Well, because he's a fucking dumb kid too. He's like, oh, you're supposed to like this.
Yeah, you
And
gotta
I'm
be
like,
into those she's watering the dildos.
I remember like, I don't like it. I'm 8 years old because I was shocked by it.
You don't know what it is.
And then I'm like, oh God, what is that?
Well, that was me when I was looking at the lady. She had the orange bush and she was peeing, and that's why I put it in my pocket. I rode my bike down to the sewer grate and I stomped it down the sewer grate because I was like, why?
But
it confused me.
It made me tough. That's why I could do triathlon.
That's why no fun anymore.
That's what made.
And that's when I stopped wearing hats.
Oh, God.
Do you guys remember your first hardcore porn that you saw? I remember my uncle had like a Playboy collection, and I would like dip into the basement after they went to sleep and look at his Playboys. And one day I had found like at the end of the Playboy shelf was his hardcore stuff, and it was like, holy shit!
Yeah. That was with the Hustler. Like, she was using the
Hustler, no insertion or anything. I'm talking like a full like the whole deal.
Oh, I think they had insertion in Hustler.
Did they?
Yeah, because or at least with the ice dildos.
They didn't. And this
maybe not.
I'm calling us old again, but they did that later. They started inching into that. Both Hustler and Penthouse inched into that.
I think they would do that thing.
It was a male female, but she was inserting the ice dildo.
They did male and female. They did that.
Oh, and then
Hustler and Penthouse both did that.
I think they would do that thing though, where they had like a lady posing and a dude with a dick, and then they would like be in proximity, but never like touching each other.
Yeah.
That was Hustler, and then like there was hardcore penetration shit at the end of my uncle's bookshelf, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, like I found a VCR tape in a brown paper bag, 2 of them. And there was one unmarked, and then one that was marked Gazongas. That's why I bring it up. And then I took that video.
That was actually my first search.
And I knew what it was. As soon as I saw it, I was like, it was like one of those moments where you got like, I remember getting like a chemical dump.
Like electricity or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. I'm about to see some shit that's going to be awesome.
This is it. This is the real deal.
And
Yeah.
And I put it in, and then I remember I knew enough from my friends telling me to rewind it back to the right spot, just in case my dad got in there. And I remember I played it, and just like you, much like the ice dildos, I still remember the video. I still remember the girl. I remember she was like coming down a staircase, and I remember her looking like really, really young, and she was dressed like some sort of a milkmaid. Like she was running from a man, and she worked in some sort of like Irish kitchen or something. And I still remember it. And I remember being like, oh shit. Like I was like, and my parents had just left to go to down the hatch. So I knew by looking at the VCR clock that I had maybe 3 full hours of uninterrupted mega jabbing. like every minute on the minute.
180 minutes of gazongas.
Yeah, just like I'd watch, and I watched from where it was all the way to the end, and then I rewound it all the way to the beginning, and then watched it all the way to where it started, and that's where I stopped it, and then ejected it.
Hilarious.
Tommy came home from school. Apparently, in the 4th grade, they already start sex education. And so they he watched some video in class about and he described it to us. He's like, it was very concerning. he's like, there was apparently cartoon nude.
They were dinosaurs,
and they're like the thing that hangs down is the penis. Yeah. they are the testicles, and then your penis will get big. It showed them the cartoon boner. This is school.
Oh
Did you sure this is school sanctioned?
So next year, my daughter's going to get to watch cartoon boners?
No. They separate the girls from the boys. She watched cartoon vaginas.
Oh, okay. Vaginas. Okay, thank you. Okay. I feel better now. Thank you.
Yeah. Because
thank God we have a doctor.
Tommy
what was your name again, sir?
By the way, you think as a parent I should know about this? I had no idea. I'm like, what? They showed you that?
I feel like
that's what I just did. I'm like, holy shit! I don't want
her to see the boner.
I don't want her to see a vagina.
Crystal absolutely signed a release for that. So
yeah. I don't know what goes on.
I feel like it should be reversed. Like, what do the boys need to learn about boners? They have them. Like that's a self-teaching scenario. Let's teach them about vaginas. They need some vagina knowledge.
Yeah.
Not end up like
yeah, me neither. I don't know about boners.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ross,
oh shit.
Tots with Ross, the Orlando talk show with Ross McCoy. Yep. Find all episodes on anywhere podcasts are found. I know there's, if you want to go back and listen to older episodes, I was on there. Daniel's on there multiple times.
Yep.
He's had a lot of local comedians on there. What was your last guest?
We just did an episode with Darren Moore.
Wow.
Local comedian. Went out to LA for a while. Now he does casting for reality shows and stuff. Really good conversation with him. We talk about pickles and stuff. I got so much stuff I have to talk about, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, good, man. Go ahead.
Next week, the 14th of May, I'm going to be at Chronic Guru downtown. You ever been there, Tom?
Oh, okay.
They will just sell you weed over the counter. I don't know what the deal is.
I know Akeem has a show.
Yeah, he's going to be doing something there, too.
Yeah,
it's
what night are you? You're the 14th?
Yeah, that'll be a Tuesday night. Akeem's going to be in June or something coming up. But Jari knows.
Have you talked to Mr. Guru?
I
have. We need to get
it.
him on the show.
If I see him, I will let him know that you guys are out there.
His name is a very Irish name. It's like Jimmy McVeigh.
Oh, really?
The guy that owns Chronic Guru.
He'll always be the guru.
Yeah, the guy in the videos. It's like, ain't that right, Allie? You're looking for the best weed now in Orlando? Chronic Guru, come on down. Try a CBD cocktail.
And my friend Jari runs that room, and he has a very funny joke about how every time he sees that guy, he's jerking off.
It was true.
And then we are going to be
talking to you.
My friend John is putting on this show that he calls Florida Bucket Pool. It's basically a Kill Tony style show. We had a lot of fun doing it a couple months ago, and we're doing one the May 15th at the Bull and Bush.
Nice.
On a Wednesday, and the 19th of May at a different place. Let me know about that if you are interested. And then I also want to tell you about, Dan, I think you're going to this one. May 16th at Framework Coffee. It's a What Do You Want From Us comedy show.
I got a crew.
Me and Larry. And we got 2 coming up, so I'm not sure who's on that one. But the 2 that we have coming up are just fucking loaded with some of the best comedians you'll ever see in Orlando. And you get to pick the jokes. It's a lot of fun. And I think that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about.
EJ, I apologize for that. But to make up for it, I'm bringing Tony Moon.
All right.
So I have an extra ticket if you want to tag along.
When is it?
The 16th.
16th of May.
Yep.
All right.
It's like a Thursday night. Right?
Oh, shit. And I did want to shout out to Blanchard Insurance. And the Analyst Home Inspector. Those 2 guys are helping me with my annual. My insurance fucking canceled on me right now.
What? No shit.
Blanchard's good, though.
Fucking again. Yeah. Blanchard's really good. And if you need a home inspection or a wind mitigation, get with Bofa over at the Analyst Home Inspection. That guy will take care of you for fucking sure.
Go.
I got some tips with the wind mitigation. I'll tell you about it. It'll be just like last time. There's a way to do it. Whatever you do, don't say the word wind or structure. Never tell them that. All right. We'll see.
Guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the BDM show on Monday.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
I am so fucking tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.